what mechanics end up being hard and what mechanics end up being easy. They learn from that, and then you get a boss like this that is just like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, these. So at first, when we were reading the Dungeon Journal, I think that people were assuming that these. I love that you brought up Gallywix, because at first we're like, oh, these Dawn crystals will be just like Gallywix bombs, and so we're just gonna stack this full of mages, and it will be very easy. It's like, no, actually, these crystals are not playing around. These are actually very challenging, and obviously they're mission critical for later phases.
Bouncers.
Yeah, like I love what they did with the crystals. Like in general, like it's obviously like a mix between the bombs and the seeds that you had on Fyrak, and they didn't make them annoying too much. The fact that you can get hit and still soak it and save the pool is like the best decision they could have done. I think that's a cool middle ground, you know. When you watched Halondrus was like obviously a very fun fight to watch, and it felt great when you actually managed to pull it off. But like the one-shot mechanics in this form are especially for non-world first guilds become quite annoying and very tilting, right? Like I know several guilds that disbanded due to stuff like that. So to give it a bit of a wiggle room in the sense that if you do get hit, you kind of can you know, pick it up still and pool just goes on, is really a good approach. I'm pretty sure this is also something that we're gonna see change though, like that this is gonna be a bit more generous as well. But yeah, like very good mechanic, very
really good. Like, look at the end of Fyrak. Fyrak was such an epic ending, right? And it had seeds. I feel like they're learning, like having this like CD mechanic which can wipe the raid always brings a really epic end to a raid boss. Cause it just gets so intense. Like one fail from one player and everyone just blows up. And it always brings to like really epic endings to a boss fight. I feel like these seeds.
Beam prepping, beam spawning now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when you're just like looking at the raid UI and you're just hoping nobody it doesn't go to zero, right? Like from viewers' perspective, it's absolutely amazing. It does create some of the most memorable moments and like some insane plays. You know, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some clips soon where somebody saves the pool somehow, or like stuff like that. It's definitely great to see and to play. I would assume. I think, you know, it challenges the players to be like on absolute top of their game, because you're not gonna kill this otherwise.
No, yeah, for sure. I really like the healing ad thing they have to do as well. Like, they're giving the healer something to do. They're not just DPS. You have to heal these crystals up. They explode, right?
Well, ranged. Well.
So it's quite cool.
I was trying to find. There's another raid boss. I can't remember if
it was at Fyrak. The ads you had to heal up.
No. It was, well, even before that, they were like trees.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was wasn't it the same tier though? Like it's the.
I think it was. I'm trying to remember, and that one had like a lot of area denial and had like you would heal the trees up, and then the trees would like
create
run
the safe
around
zone.
and cause, chaos. And you had to stand in the seed. I was trying to find
the fire tree. What was her name?
Yeah.
Give it L, I think.
Yeah, L. I also have L in my head.
But L something. Chat was
I was trying to find it because I was like, couldn't. I know that we saw that a lot in Fyrak.
It's the one you killed, but it's killed after Naomi.
Yeah, exactly. I also have L in my head.
LaRonda, I don't know, something like that.
Oh, it's not LaRonda. It's like.
I'm gonna have to find out.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for it. I was like, it's not in. I was like, is it in Avarice? I was like, it doesn't. I don't feel like it's Avarice.
No, it's in that raid. It's that raid. It is that raid.
It is that raid?
Yeah, it's the same way with Fyrak, but it's the tree, the fire tree. When you killed after Naimbu. It begins with L. It definitely begins with L, but I just don't know what the words are.
A bit late.
Yes, we're all
Someone
good.
get what's up.
L?
Yeah, Midgersill, raid.
It's in a mid. It's in a mid.
I think so, yeah.
I had to use all my abilities to
LaRoda. LaRoda keeping the flame.
Oh, the flame.
Yeah.
Like kind of from a healer perspective, it feels more like this boss, the Keeper of Flame, than Fyrak to me for some reason. It could just be crazy. But yeah, it's definitely. I know we talked about Fyrak, but for some reason this boss with the Dawn Crystals interaction is great. I see a lot of like even healers are manipulating the crystals in a way. You'll see like life grips, you're gonna, or you know,
we're pulling,
leaf
we're
of fates,
pulling.
like the
Yeah.
priest poles. You'll see evokers like rescue, so they'll like fly over and bring
Yeah, it's cool.
bring the crystal back. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
like epic gameplay happening.
Focus. Cakes.
Yeah.
I also
do-
like that. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to like a small mention about the crystal thingy that one decision that is also kind of interesting is though, because like if you don't heal up the crystal, right, like you will wipe. So it does trigger
Yeah,
a
yeah,
wipe.
he does, yeah.
Yeah, it triggers a wipe mechanic that like if you do not heal it, it just straight up kills you. Which to me was like a bit of a surprise decision, because I do feel like there was like some possibility for like potential cheese attempts where you're like not bringing all the crystals in to the last phase just because you feel like you don't need them, you know.
This intuition
Like-
gives me Kai Beza nightmares. This division
The
does.
top right glaive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. This is
Actual Kai
completely-
Beza.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
yeah, liquid nightmare. All these
Yeah.
like stars.
Glaive.
You can't
well, we've
see
got-
it here, but on the far left, you can see how they're managing the dawn
Nice.
crystals.
We're through with everyone alive. Let's see.
Yeah, we're through with everybody
Let's
left.
go.
So this is now, and they practice the positioning before today's mythic
Yeah,
pool. So
see,
let's
what-
see if that works. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to drop C's left to mark here so you don't all blow up. I've watched this a lot actually on Liquid Stream. Let's see.
The rule of thumb here is that they're pointing the beams in cardinal directions. That's what I've seen. Can anybody verify that? Because the hope is that if you put them just in perfect cardinal directions, the orbs will just kind of move into the beams by the time everything is discharged.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
There they go again. Watch, they're gonna be perfectly
Op werken bij defensie.nl.
We did lose a lot of people earlier, so,
Yeah.
the moment that happens, you're kind of done for, because you lack people to split the damage from those
Yeah.
beams, yes, and then it is kind of non-recoverable. So if you do lose people, you do end up.
Strawberries and cream. Or this tiny pickle tattoo. Sweet test in progress.
I do have to say right now, Liquid is on a very, very hot pool.
New
I
Pepsi,
have been
37%
looking on the
sweeter
side a
than
bit.
pickle tattoo.
Their pool is absolutely
yeah.
banging right now. I wanna
Well
just
bouncer. Well bouncer range. Well.
quickly see how
New
far
ones,
they
new
can
ones,
get
new
it,
ones, new
because
ones.
this is definitely
Bouncing.
the
Watch the well.
first
Well.
we've seen this fight go. And
Look around. Just look around.
holy smokes.
There's one.
Would be quite interesting, like imagine the boss just falls over, like we're just like
I
in
don't,
the-
I don't feel like much happens in this phase other than the memory
Who the
game.
boss was.
Well, you're
uh,
seeing
Back
half
right.
of the raid.
Back right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Back right.
there is other
Half
half
of the raid does the
obviously.
memory game.
Top right. Top right. Do the spawn.
And instead of like the laser beams, you basically have to like match your partner, like someone with the same
Yeah.
shape. You have to do some model,
First beam
you know,
spawning now.
like collision in the
Two,
same
one.
order as the boss was flashing the
You spawn.
rooms.
Yeah.
I feel like this boss that dies today 100%. I think Liquid might even stay up for a long time.
Yeah.
I think
so-
they're going to be scared of Echo killing this boss today. I reckon they might overtime this. I don't know. 90%. Going from 35 to 90% is a lot. That shows to me this phase is not as hard as they'll know exactly what to do now after this pool. It's just getting there, right? It's getting there so hard because the other phases in this boss are so unforgiving. Yeah.
I do have to say now, like I will go do quick check just in a few seconds after I said that, because you know they did end up in the last slice of the room, which also
Yeah.
kind of works as the soft enrage, well hard enrage actually. Once you run out of the room, you know it's over. The boss was 20%. I did not see how many people were alive for the most time. I do think they had pretty much everybody. That's still a long way to go, yeah. Like, and the amount of damage optimization you will
On top
need
of
to
what
do in
Marcus
order to push that will be very, very high. So, yes, it does definitely feel like that at this point, what we just saw on Liquid, that they absolutely figured out how to play this phase. But now it really comes down to numbers, right? If you can actually find those numbers, if you can actually kill the boss.
Pick it up.
That's gonna be the biggest question mark. But yeah, this is definitely like the biggest display of P3 that we saw so far. And as you can see it now on the leaderboard,
Right of the world markers.
19.4%.
Yep.
299 pulls in. Down.
Yeah, that's a really good pull. I wonder if Echo are actually playing on off stream right now, or they stayed up so late last night that they're just having a bit more extra sleep.
Pick it up.
Because yeah, they're still up on the stream right now.
Between world markers, step to the right. Great damage in.
So yeah, maybe they
One.
got really far in the
Now.
P3 last night as well, and they
Last week
were
spots.
pushing off stream. So that's
Starting
maybe
in
why they're up
one.
later today.
Personal
Yeah, we
space.
can all speculate.
Yeah,
Nobody
this is.
really
now.
knows.
I mean, this is
Nobody
like back.
has info.
Yeah. Back in the day, obviously, we never used to stream the races. Literally, you were so anxious all the time because you had no idea where the other guilds were in the fight, and you could only speculate and hope that you were ahead of them, right? But now obviously everything is streamed, so
Going to mark
that
positions.
anxiety normally is a little bit less. But when people go off stream, you notice how more anxious you are and not knowing how the other guilds are getting on.
Triangle T. What star?
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's
they're
what
saying
we.
that Echo's
Already?
broadcast is live, and players seem to be in the raid.
Go.
Okay, maybe it's just come on then.
Go.
Yeah.
Next go.
But yeah,
What's
like
It's the rebroadcast that's not allowed. But...
as you said, bangers though,
soaps.
do you also feel like it's
What's
just
your
part of
feet?
mind games, right?
What's your
Like when
feet?
Echo
Yeah.
goes like before bad, they go dark. You know, they just want to
So
keep
the
you
other
guessing
one
what
as
they're
well?
doing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
100%,
it's just,
yeah.
What's your
yeah.
feet again?
It's like Max said.
What's
Max
your
actually
feet?
likes showing Echo what to do sometimes
Tucking
because
in.
he
Tucking
said
in.
that it actually helps them get further in the fight, which then means that when they wake up, they can see what Echo have done and that they can leapfrog them. So Max actually said that he actually shows
Right,
Echo
get
what
ready
to do
to run.
sometimes, just so they can get
3,
further in the fight.
2,
To then use that as an advantage for them.
Melee just a
So
little bit
it's, just,
ahead.
so it's just all mind games. That's all it is.
I'm sure it's
Forward
really
stepping.
nice to have that type of like
watch your feet.
constant flow of, I guess like
Watch your feet.
adaptations to
Yeah.
kind of sift through and think through and wake up
And soak the last
learning
one.
about.
And
But
what's your feet?
at some point,
What's your feet, guys? One
when
on
it
top.
gets to these
One on
sub
top.
20% pulls,
Yeah.
I just that is a
Positions
margin
for
of
marks.
expertise that
For
I
marks,
would
what's
just
your
not
feet
be able
again?
to sleep at night.
Yeah,
Alright.
I always really struggled to sleep when I was in the race for first.
Oh.
Like literally, like I don't know how players could just turn off their
What's your
PC and
feet?
go straight to bed. I'd literally be
Oh,
watching
no.
the other guild. I'd be watching the other guild for like 2 hours,
Triangle.
thinking like, please don't kill this boss.
Horizontal.
And then I'd wake up like
Left
after
guy
5
go.
hours, think like, why
Left
did I
guy
stay out for 2 hours? I shouldn't do
Hey,
that.
what's your
What was I
feet?
doing last night?
What's your feet?
Yeah.
What's your feet?
Yeah.
Instantly
Tucking
checking your
in.
phone to look
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
leaderboards,
As
going
soon
to
as I-
Raider
yeah,
IO frantically. looking.
Yeah. Or I'd
And
wake
get
up at
ready
like
to
half 3 in the
gate.
morning and I'd quickly go on my phone,
2,
check Raider Row, see that I
1,
killed the boss and go back to sleep.
gating.
Like that's actually how much mentally
Go to
taxing
your
like the race can
positions.
be when you're actually going through it
Heart
first.
strings. And what's fit?
We have a full timer.
Yeah, that's a good pull for Method as well though, getting into that intermission.
Exit first.
I felt that intermission is not too hard. It
then
seemed
Siri.
really intense on damage intake.
Let's go.
But once
There we
you
go.
learn when to drop the seeds and when to soak and when to drop the seeds in the middle and go out with your circles, like I mean, it's just rinse and repeat 3 times, right? There's
Yeah,
not
the
really much.
nameplates- Oh, there we go.
No,
I
it
was
was
like, blind
It's
for a
fine,
little
at least
bit.
we learned that the
Yeah,
other
once you
side
get to
were-
that
like, it was
phase
already
and everyone
completely
learns
different
which
phase.
beams
really?
they're going to soak
Yeah.
and where to put the
That was really
See-
insane.
Nu bij de Mac,
We had
de
tight
McCrispy
currency
Italian.
damage.
Dat is crazy crunchy kip met
Like, I had
parmezaanse
insane
kaas en
damage.
rode pesto
Oh no,
saus.
Ronnie,
I'm
you killed
loving
the
it.
other
Lekker fris met een McFizz, een bruisende cola of Sprite Zero met
I'll
passion
look
fruit
at
smaak.
the explosion there, what happened, but
yeah. I think that
Do you know
the
what you can look
P2
at,
is
Roger?
something
When
like
I
getting
actually
there
pressed bubble
cleanly,
in last phase, because I kind of
just
just vibed that last
getting
try.
through it
or
and
like
getting
the
to the
one try.
next phase.
Yeah.
Ooh, I do like this
Okay.
add-on that they
I'll
added
look.
the little arrow at the top, so
Yeah.
now it tells you which direction
I will figure
the
out and
beams
let
will be
you know,
going.
Narco.
That is nice visual.
Let's go down
cue.
though. Let's check. Hello.
And yeah, I went to do a quick check on that liquid pool just to have an idea how far we are off the kill, and they had pretty much everybody alive
Look
up
at this.
until like
We would have killed the boss if I did
25%.
this
They did
damage.
lose like two
Oh,
healers, then rest
we
and
would
not
have killed the
healer
boss
bit,
if I
so
did this damage
definitely
to the other try.
it's manageable to
Yeah,
keep
that
people
would be
alive.
better.
That's like out of the question.
Timing
However,
was so
at
shit
around
the
like
other try.
20, you know,
I was lowest on Lura,
1-2% mark, they had 30 seconds till the next Archangel cast,
And it's over.
which to me is very optimistic that you can take 20% away from the boss within 30 seconds. So I do think that this is gonna be a very, very exciting ending, at least as it looks like right now.
Okay.
Did you see where they lusted on that ball?
No, I actually didn't
Great
check.
question.
Yeah, it's
Because that's where you can
I-
normally
yeah.
find a lot of damage. If you can optimize
Yeah.
your lust a bit better sometimes, because they might be using the lust right just to get to that phase right now. You could definitely find 10+% damage on the boss if you lust at a different
Phase
time. If it's
spawning now.
more beneficial to when using cooldown on boss.
Much pillar bomb.
yeah. I mean, assumingly they are using last in P1 when they have no cooldowns, then
Right bouncers. Watch.
I would like say for
Battle
sure, but
bounce.
like
Yeah.
because the damage translates into later phases, right? If they have some sort of cooldowns going on when they last in P1, then the difference is not gonna be as high. But definitely,
Prepping.
you know, execute factor is definitely
now.
there, right? So if you
Glaze.
manage to hold last for the last 30%, first of all you help the healers. The second of all you
Glaze
just
ahead.
do more damage because you're in execute. A lot of classes have some execute interactions.
Focuses.
So yeah, I could definitely see that you could find some extra percentages there just by doing that.
Yeah. Oh, we got the memory game wrong with TB or something. What happened here? We just went boom.
I thought that they were doing really great job using. I know that was obviously they wiped there, so not a great job,
Pick up.
but
Glaive
them
spawning now.
shifting around with the runes and actually using more of the space so to dodge the glaives, but yet like ensuring that they have like a significant quadrant between their two runes to ensure that
Watch
the
them.
mechanic is done correctly.
Yeah.
Right?
They're
Like so
coming,
the thing
watch
is like they're less
One
focused on
bouncers.
standing in a spot,
Playing
like
easier.
directly near the boss, like in a horseshoe shape, but they're more like yeah. You can
beams.
just use this area and make sure you
Watch
get
this.
hit between these two other runes. Because you don't need to be right
Well said.
in the boss's hitbox in order to do that mechanic. And it was nice to see a little bit of real estate there.
Getting focus kicks.
Absolutely. Like
Yep, definitely.
a lot of good things about this fight for sure. Like
Grips.
I think the chat is having fun. I think every viewer out there is just having fun.
Watch it. Glaive,
Good
glaive,
to see
glaive.
that WoW is still pushing in that
coming as well.
direction where some hardcore gamers
watch
could be
Glaives,
stuck
watch
for
Glaives.
days and just
Yeah.
trying to overcome a massive challenge.
Background
It's also something for the gamers. I guess something that doesn't be talked about too much, right? Obviously, like all the pro gamers, they're getting paid to play the game on this level, and they are professionals. But I also feel like you are also still a gamer, right? Like by heart, right? And you do want to be pushed, and you do want a challenge. You wanna feel good when you kill something, right? Like I don't think anybody feels excited when you kill a Laria in like 30 pulls.
Yeah.
So it's good for the gamers because you want to keep the people in the game, to keep them pushing, to keep challenging themselves. You're gonna definitely see the differences, between the DPS players as well. Like sometimes down the line when all three guilds kill the boss, and you're gonna check, oh look at this Demon Hunter, how much he did on that fight, how did he pull this off, or look at this Warlock and stuff like that. I guess that's something that players always compare between each other, and that's something that keeps you going in the future, pushes you to be better at the game, right?
Yeah, definitely.
One. No.
I actually really like these last two bosses that Blizzard have created. I think Bellerin was for a viewer that fight was insane. But I think to play that fight probably would not have been as fun actually. I think Bellerin was definitely better on the eyes as a viewer in the race. But this fight I really enjoy actually. I think it's probably quite fun to play as well because it's so engaging. Like you just constantly got to be watching about for so many different mechanics. And
Drop and soak. Pick it up.
you've always got to be on your
Dropping
toes as you
from
wipe the raid.
one.
So these fights are always
Left.
really fun to play. But Bellerin was
Pick it up.
definitely an insane fight to watch as well. I feel like from a viewer outside the raid.
Between ward markers.
So and I also do have another
One.
form of news
Now.
is that Liquid
On
did
top
in
of
fact go
markers,
to bed
going
now,
front.
Okay.
which also kind of gives me the confirmation that they absolutely believe that boss will not die by the time they wake up.
Drop
Like
soak.
they just had like a 20% pool, and you just do the math right really quick. You have people in your team who are really good at that, and I think they're
Between ward
quite
markers,
certain the boss will not die
Great
by the
damage
time
in
they wake up. So that's why they're just
one.
hitting
Now.
the bed, trying to. They will probably wake up
Right
a bit
ward
earlier.
markers.
Pretty sure they will. Usually how they do it.
Yeah.
but they're very confident right now that the boss is still far from a kill, I guess. So
I reckon,
now
yeah,
it's yeah.
I reckon the reason why they went to bed is because they need to make a lot of DPS optimizations, and I reckon that's what the analysts would do while they sleep. They always do this. It happened to Queen Antarak as well. Like, remember Queen Antarak? We thought there's no way this boss dies in this gear. Sorry, everyone was like, nah, this is not killable. And then Liquid woke up. They had like all these optimizations done, and they killed the boss, right? I think that's what's going to happen with this boss as well. There's going to be a lot of DPS optimizations that need to be made. Figuring out when people need to use their timers and if they need to move lust or all these sort of things, and the analysts will be doing that while they sleep, and they'll wake up and probably kill the boss if Echo don't kill it today. Or Method.
Going to marks.
Yeah, shout out to the analysts. They
analysts
really know how to. Yeah, they really know how to make it happen.
Watching feed.
We love it. So we're looking forward
ready.
to some exciting news tomorrow.
Okay.
Mayhaps.
Diamond go.
But of course, we're gonna make our own prog
Please
here.
go.
We're finally in
Yep.
this like really, we call it. I think everyone's calling it the Kaiveza phase,
Triple
where it's like
soaking.
these stars are shooting out. And what I really
What's
love is
speed?
you can see at the top right side of the
What's speed?
screen that in order to ensure that the dawn crystals are safe, you actually have to place them
What's
on the
speed
ground
again?
briefly, move your star away from it, and make sure that no other stars
And
are
touching
nearby
in.
and
Touching in.
damaging that crystal. Otherwise, you're going to create soaks for everyone, and that's not good.
Yeah. Also the interaction,
Running
the
in
fact
3,
that the
2,
crystal starts
1,
doing ticking
running.
raid wide
Mel
damage
is a
if
little
it's
bit
left
ahead.
on the ground for too long. I also think that's quite cool.
This is
Like,
like guys.
Ready to show.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
no,
Watch feed.
Past the
no,
curse.
dude.
Oh, what did you
What
do?
happened? How did we wipe there? Nothing
Get
even
out.
happened.
Yeah.
Watching feed again. What's feed?
See,
We've done the two mechanics which we hadn't done before, which was the
And mark
the seed to
position.
the left
Same here, same here.
and soak, and then get out with the
Mark
circles.
positions.
And then
What's
we
feed?
died
What's
to the.
feed?
I don't even know what we even died to then. Someone must have died while I was holding a seed.
Feed.
Maybe from the things that come
Triangle.
into the boss, which would be
What's
really
feed?
sad to die.
Feed
at this
go.
point.
Feed go.
I feel like
Circles that jump to the boss in the 4 different corners.
I feel like the key to success today for both Method and Echo will just be P1 consistency.
Yeah.
Because P2 does not have much going on, and after a few attempts, you will definitely start to do this like in your sleep almost.
Gating. And positions. Make sure you have max
So it is definitely P1
What's your
consistency
feed
that is
times?
the key to success today, right? Like if they find that, and if they can chain pull into P2, you're gonna have a
Be
good,
Fraggle
fun day, yeah.
and
And
Serene
if you start choking
Serene
P1 too much, then
Go.
then it's kind of hard to create realistic progression, because you're just gonna feel so happy when you finally reach that other phase that you're gonna like overthink it. You might play way too sloppy and things like that, right?
How do you do that?
Run in the triangle.
Let's go next.
Yeah. Go next.
Yeah, when you're racing in this type of environment, it's like you don't.
It's good
Every
now.
pull
Maris had it.
matters because
No, I didn't.
each pull's taking longer now,
I-
right? If you're having
I
P1
was-
wipes
Oh,
and it's
kind
like,
of,
okay,
yeah.
just
Yeah,
turn
I
and
don't know,
burn.
melee,
The
I don't
average
know.
wipe,
Yeah.
I think up to date, according to
Oh,
Radar
I
AO,
think
was
it was
like
It was under
a
the boss, I
minute.
think.
So meaning
Oh,
that
okay.
out of these 200 pulls, most of these pulls are only lasting a minute. But when you get into farther phases, logically, it's more time invested,
able to
it's
look
more
at your
time
mark,
lost,
maybe?
and
I
more
don't know,
time
there's
for
I don't know, bro.
to become more competitive.
I'm cognitive loaded.
And
Yeah, with a break. Yeah.
yeah, and I also saw Echo is not as well online, and they are in front of the boss, in fact. So EU arrived, you know, the full stack is here. So let's see if they're gonna reveal their secret
Maybe the secret phase.
pulls they did last night, or slash bluff. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Double
Fucking
fist blue
shine,
rah,
bro.
bro.
Yeah, Echo. They're
what
like
do you
Echo
think,
just
Square?
went
What
dark
would we do if
until
we get
Liquid
this
went
again?
to
We do
bed.
We go to the bed.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh my gosh,
Like the fun.
that's awesome.
Watching again?
Why can't I watch the view, by the way?
I assume,
Yeah, I don't
uh,
think that. Let's go for it.
I just assume the break timer is maybe for some weak auras and stuff like that. Like usually
Yeah.
what
That's
ends
a
up
thing for
happening,
next
right?
year.
Click to go end and then press left arrow key if you want to review.
Yeah, pretty.
What the fuck?
It's also could be for coordinating beyond that that second intermission phase, or that first intermission phase, so that they. Because right now I saw that they were kind of like zipping around the room, making sure that they were pre-positioning for that phase. So I'm wondering if they're also trying to like shift people around to make sure that they're to better like optimize somehow or get a little bit more damage somewhere. I feel like I know that this part of the fight they're kind of there and they have an idea of what they want, and obviously EU has the luxury of seeing what NA has done. But there's also like this like fine point where you don't know it's going to be good until you try it. Like you can go in there with like the results you've seen for other people, but sometimes you just need to go in there and try your own thing. So maybe we're in those positions.
Oh yeah, like absolutely. And so yeah, break is ending right now. Like we are going to have a pool again. I mean, would you say we're doing quite decent like this morning, right? Like I feel like we saw some P2s already, like chill progress, early shift. Like I think we're satisfied with what we're seeing so far, right?
Yes, absolutely. And according to my prediction was 205, and I was like, oh, we're totally gonna see some great pulls, but we're gonna definitely be fixing weak ores most of the morning. And once we get the weak ores in the way we want them, then I'm confident we're gonna see lots of fun frog, and hopefully it'll be rapid fire. Just go in there and throw your body at it, figure out like what needs to be better. I don't feel like they're at the stage where they're like changing talents too much. Anything too crazy.
Yeah,
just
and what's
perfect stacking, right?
And I have to ask you as well, like because I feel like Echo will be going dark potentially. Like we're gonna find out soon, I guess. But like, what is your take on guilds going dark in general? Like, do you think like it's justified, or do you think like nah? Like, how do you feel about that?
I think managing teams is just a collection of personalities, and sometimes the best way to lock in is just kind of like, tighten the, to lock down. Basically, like just block everything else out, get the team together, not like worry about like stream and like cut out all the extra stuff. So that I can see there being a benefit to it. I think that it could be a strategic advantage. It could be a lot of things, but a part of me is like, I would guess that some of these gamers just are so used to playing and it like just with, I think they just need to play with each, like, play with as a team and kind of like brainstorm freely without the extra like thoughts of all the cosmetic stuff to the race, like the stream and whatever. So I think that's what I think. I think that there's also a part of it, and I think that Echo does really well. They've shown that they're really good at collaborating with each other, and there's definitely a strength within their team to find that recipe that works well for them. We've seen obviously Liquid and Echo leapfrog through various raids and tiers over the years. And they don't do things exactly the same. So they obviously take information from each other, but you have to win with the team that you have. And sometimes that means just like heads down, figure out what the best, fastest process would be, and cut out everything else. And this just seems to be the lever that works best for the Echo team, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
I think that I sometimes see where the guilds do it. That they want to win, right? They're just in this to win, and they do whatever they think they have to do necessary to win the race. But I think it can be annoying as a viewer when you're watching and you see like they finally get the P3, they go dark. Because as viewers, you just want to see the fight, right? So as a viewer, it can be quite annoying. I think when it constantly keeps happening, you see them mute all the time because you want to hear the comms, because it's excited to hear how they are talking about these bosses. and they're always muted, and it's like, wow, this is a bit of a worse viewer experience. But obviously, the guilds don't care what you think; they just want to win the race, right? So yeah, I can see why it happens, and I don't mind if it happens every now and then. But when they're constantly going dark all the time, it does annoy me. You either stream the race or you don't stream the race. I think that's just how it should be. I guess their sponsors probably also don't like it when they always keep going dark, because you know there's the hope of the race is when they're seeing these new phases, and they want everyone to be engaged, and you know it's why they pay these guilds to put on these races and stuff. So yeah, no, I see both sides of it, but then I know guilds just want to win the race. No one cares about how many times you went dark. If you win the race right, they're only going to remember who won whatever race we just had. So no, I see both sides, and I see positives and negatives to both reasons. I don't mind if they go dark, but I also hate when they keep going dark all the time, and you, as a viewer, can't see these new phases in these bosses because they don't want to show the other guilds.
Yeah, I do have like a bit of an old school opinion when it comes to that. I just feel like if you're the better team, you're gonna win no matter what. Yeah, like I feel if you're just playing best, you're gonna win. Doesn't matter if you stream dark or not. Like that's just how it is, right? But I also feel like there should be like kind of middle ground in between, because obviously whenever you figure something out, like you know, and you know, you don't want to risk like you don't want to devalue your
triangle
progress, because it is very relevant in fights where you're on a choke point and some team figures out a very clever way how to deal with it, right? And that is the type of stuff that you want to hide, because that really propels somebody's progress by like a lot of pulls, right? They could be stuck there for another 50 pulls, and the moment they see you do it, they're like, oh, that's how you do it, and then that's it, right? Like you just pass that point, right? So I do understand when you want to hide stuff like that, but at the same time, I'm like, I feel like there needs to be a middle ground. I feel like you should, I don't know, just blur the screen. Like, leave us the raid frames, like, just leave the raid frames visible for the viewer, and then blur the screen, right? Like, so you at least see, okay, they're pulling, there's stuff happening on the screen. You can't really tell what is happening, but you see stuff is moving on the screen, right? And like, you see the raid frames. And I feel that would be like a good middle ground for everybody to actually like still enjoy, because I would still watch it even if it's blurred, you know, like, it would be quite funny. So like you just see things moving, you know, and then you just see the raid is either alive or not.
We used to have a button with, if you used to have access to a button, that if we ever got to a point where we were ahead of the other guilds, you pressed the button, everything just went black on the screen. So the other guilds couldn't see what you were doing, right? So they definitely have the tech to do stuff like that.
I did say me here. That's fine.
Parting in.
Yeah, there's a lot of line on the line for these race world first guilds, and like I said, you don't obviously want to help competitors at all, right? Or as Max, you might want to help to a certain point, so you can let them show you what to do further on in the fight. But when it gets to this nitty gritty at the end, where like you see Liquid on 19% at the end of the boss fight, they really won't want to be showing anything extra really on this boss, because they know that Echo have now got a whole day of progress on this boss before they get to make up again. So yeah, this will be a really exciting day for the EU fans, guys. Echo and Mepha are going to have to really pull something out of the bag, I think, to get one first today. I personally think that if Echo and Mepha goes deep tonight, that Liquid will kill it before waking up. But yeah, we'll have to see.
What's your feed?
Echo are pulling now. Just obviously want to talk about competitors because it makes it hype for the race. Yeah, Echo are awake now, and let's see how far they got on their secret balls last night.
And one question I wanted to ask while we are still three of us together, because I know Bunton will soon be leaving us for a quick nap. But like this entire tier was very interesting when it comes to comps, right? We have seen everything at this point. I feel like. We've seen different healer comps, different tank comps, DPS comps. Like, what's your guys' take on that?
Giving him some room, bro. You know.
I'll let Paladin go.
Gonna box him in.
Oh, I've gotten pretty spoiled of seeing a Holy Pally every tier. So apparently this is the first time, and boss, in the last like 8 tiers, there hasn't been a Holy Pally. So I'm sure everybody who doesn't play Holy Pally is pretty excited about this refreshing change. You know, multiple monks. Obviously, blood DKs are fabulous.
Us down,
and we haven't. We're the only ones rocking the new. We're the only ones rocking the OG Havoc. So I think it's been good so far.
And Havoc's pumping as well. Like, I don't understand why the other guys maybe have not looked at Havoc and see how much damage it's doing, but maybe their Devourers are also just doing the damage that they need on specific things, right? I'm not sure. Obviously, we can look at the meters, right, and it looks good, but when you actually look into the boss, what damage is he actually doing on what certain ads and stuff, it's hard to tell just from looking at the DPS meter, right?
Yeah, I did hear through the grapevine that it's the reduced meta talent, and it just lines up really well with when you need to AoE on this fight. So I don't know anything about Demon Hunters.
Same.
Don't come at me, but that's just like the comment that I heard over the last couple days, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like, obviously, you would bring in, I thought it was a comfort pick, and if it lines up good for the AoE, that means that more of your raid can focus on single target, which is kind of the goal here. You want the main boss to be done.
I feel like Business knew about, like, oh, sorry, God, but you say it was.
Oh, I need to get out of here so you guys can win.
Before I.
All right, thanks everybody.
See you later, Paladin.
Enjoy your day.
Bye bye. Enjoy.
But yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like Business like knew about all these comp swaps because they've given you so many chances to gear up all these characters, right? This raid, this is a raid where we've had a lot of chance to gear up as many different classes, as many different specs as possible, and I feel like a lot of these last two bosses have required such different comps, right? Like right now we've got double DK, double DH, we've got a Rogan which we didn't see in Veteran Kill, we've got double Resto Druid, which is very unusual, right? When have you ever seen a double Resto Druid on an end boss? I guess obviously Liquid are using the double Mistweaver, Echo and Method again with the Resto Druid options. But yeah, I'm not sure which options are best. I'm not really sure why they've gone for that. Maybe it is just literally their highest geared players that they want in the raid. But yeah.
Right bounce.
Yeah, definitely like a very wild comp adjustments throughout like the race. For example, if you just look at Dragon, who was kind of the only healer from the very start that was kind of irreplaceable, like suddenly it's completely gone. Obviously Disc has been present throughout the entire race, and the rest of the Druid, I guess, you know, this is the type of fight they like. I also fail to see like exactly what it brings here, but yeah, it definitely something that came into the picture, and I feel like Echo was the first one to present it, and then, you know, Gills kind of hopped on. I think on this fight specifically, like, because Liquid also has a Resto Druid, that just comes down to the tank comp, right? You don't want to run a DPS warrior, so you're kind of stuck with the Prot warrior, and you want to play a Blood Decay, so that is like the solution, because we know that the Boomy is a complete shambles right now, so that's just not happening, right? But yeah, like I don't feel like necessarily that the comp is the deciding factor on this fight. Like, they all do have like a pretty similar comp. It's kind of mirrored. It's just the healers that are a bit different. But like, I don't think you can do something in this fight that would like make it different just because if you swap some DPS. And I think that's also a good fight design, right? Like if you think about it, a lot of fights in the past, the hard ones, really came down to the comp, right? Like if you had the proper, if you had the proper.
Respawn. 2, 1, shooting. Respawn.
Specs in, it felt like the fight was so much easier. If we look at this comp, all it really does is just do good damage. That's it. Like, and we do see some things, like, for example, you need 2 Warlocks for double gate in P3. You need 2 Hunters for double mark in P3. And then you need, guess what? Double Demon Hunter for the double Chaos Brand. And and obviously the Rogue is just there for the raid buff. The same with the Red Paladin, and same with the Mage, right? And Og is just busted. Like, we can actually for real say that Og is the only spec that is really busted. Yeah, like so overall, like this is a bit of a comp log boss in a lot of ways, and I think this is something that Blizzard needs to look into after this tier. Giving hunters a buff that that is like applied to a target is like the biggest mistake ever. That is just like a bad idea.
Anyways, guys.
Because the moment you have 2 targets, you're just gonna run 2 hunters, no matter how bad they are. Yeah. So yeah.
No, definitely. It's like Bellerin, right? Bellerin, you actually cannot do that boss without like so many immunity classes because you need to immune so many mechanics on that fight. So that's a fight where you have to literally bring certain classes because like there's no. We have a white beer, but there's no casual guilds that are killing that boss without having that class stack, right? So that was definitely made for the race world first. There's no way that wasn't. Well, I guess we got notched up because of what happened to Illyria last minute. But yeah, that boss, Bellerin felt like a really weird boss. Like everything was like one shot, and a bit like this boss kind of. They're not really giving us many forgiving mechanics on these last 2 bosses for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. They and as you said, right? They also kind of knew that the guilds had so much time to prepare to do the splits, even in Mythic. Like, you know, there was no excuse for them to like say, "Oh yeah, but we don't have that now." In a way, you know, like, "Oh, this is panic moment. We don't have stuff geared and things like that." They had everything prepared and. I'm always the type of guy to say that if Blizzard actually allows you to gear up alts easy, and if they do not lock things behind some, I don't know, like campaign progress or some reputation arena like it was in the past, I think it's quite fine to make certain bosses a comp lock because that's also part of progression, right? Like preparing those characters and having it ready is part of the game. Like I think even for the non-world first 3 guilds, like just having the extra characters prepared and like reacting to the things that you see in the world first is part of the competition, right? Like that's how you win, right? That's how you
definitely
move forward. Like and it just fine in my opinion as long as it's like accessible.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think I saw Bookmark talking about it earlier in the stream. If they just released this raid at the same time and not had it gated. But you had to kill Illyria Mythics to get to this raid on Mythic. That would have been really cool, actually. I think so. You didn't have that 4-day downtime of just like no content. This raid would have been way more interesting to watch, at least from a viewer point. So yeah, I think they just messed up from gating this raid to like a complete reset to allow us to come into this raid. If they just said that if you kill Illyria Mythic, you can fight this one Mythic, then that would be perfect.
Well, yeah, I 100% agree that there is a lot to it, like that it would, if we would actually receive things as they are right now, it would definitely make the race absolutely epic in that sense, right? But, you know, Blizzard has an easy excuse here, right? They just gonna say, well, I mean, did you guys like the last 2 bosses? And we obviously gonna be saying, well, yeah, we did. And they're gonna be like, well, there you go. That's why we needed to delay it, so we can make them as hard as they are right now, right? So, if that's true or not, we don't know, obviously, but you would assume that based on the data they have from the week before that, they can fine-tune the bosses, right? So,
if I have a defensive, do I live one?
I mean, we have to be realistic, right? If we want to get bosses like this, and if this is the only way to achieve it, then I'm in for it, yeah? Like, I'm gonna be like, sure, then just go do this again in the future, right? Like, you know, and then obviously the guilds will also have a different approach, knowing what's waiting for them, right? Like, you're just gonna... And the viewers as well, right? You're gonna have different expectations. You know, you're gonna get your 2 bosses at the end or 3, depending on what they decide.
Yeah, I feel it better 12
fucking night people.
And you just go with it, like so that's always gonna be a bit of a challenging thing, I guess. I think and it's also what we talked about like last week. I mean, even you and me in the cast, we said, well, if the last 2 bosses are great. The race is saved and we're happy, right? And that's really what it comes down to, and I think we are happy right now. And like, you know, if this is the way to go to achieve this, well, then I guess it's the new meta.
Now, I actually really think that these raids that they've made are great. I think like having like a mythic voice bar, for example, with like 6 bosses where casuals can just go in and kill 4 bosses pretty easy is fun. Like that's good for the game. And then having these 2 bosses at the end, which are like insane race world first bosses, they require so much DPS, so much healing, so much coordination. We've got so much going on the screens right now. It's insane for the viewership as well. And just hopefully they've learned from maybe gating the raids. Look, because Blizzard have got really good at tuning them bosses. Like look at Queen Interact, Farak, this boss, Dementius was insanely tuned. Like they know how to tune bosses now. There's no way they don't. So maybe they planned for like voice bars to just be easy all along. That was like not even maybe Illyria they maybe messed up a little bit on tuning, I'd say, because Paladins was probably tuned pretty good. Obviously they had to buff the debuffs to make that fight hard, right? They had to make a quick change on that fight. But yeah, they maybe missed a little bit on Illyria, but recently Blizzard have been insane on tuning the end bosses. So there's definitely something they know how to do.
Bouncers. Back left.
But yeah, I guess Blizzard have probably taken some positives and negatives out on this raid here, and I'm sure the next one will be even better.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and even the chat mentioned like Dimensius was tuned great, and you know, like you said, Queen Anzarek. However, there is like one small thing there, and I think that is exactly the issue the Blizzard is facing here. All of those bosses actually did get nerfed by quite a lot during the progression, if I remember correctly. And I think that's exactly the thing that Blizzard is trying to avoid at all costs because of all the global release drama, because for some reason, you know, you cannot code the game to release at the same time, you know, like it is impossible in nowadays technology. So all they're really trying to achieve right now is I feel they want to have the boss completely ready without any necessity for them to do something to the fight that would alter the race, you know, that would make it feel like an unfair advantage. And so far that's been the case on this boss. They actually did manage, in my opinion, all the stuff that they changed so far, which is basically only P1, has not affected the race in any way. And
playing like this, watch the glaze around us.
And that might be their reason for it. Yeah, like we don't know. Only Blizzard knows how they think about it. And I feel like often us, the community, do often think way too complicated. Like we always have like those, you know, theories and like whatnot. And you know, maybe they're just chilling there and be like, guys, what if we just split the bosses in 3 instances? And that's it, right? Like that's it. They just shoot out that idea, you know, and that's it. And then we are here like theorizing, oh, maybe they want to tune stuff better and stuff like that. So you never know. As long as they make it at the end, I'm happy.
Yeah. I mean, let's just say everyone's happy. Like the casuals are happy because they've got an easier raid. The race for first guilds are currently happy right now because they've got 2 hard bosses. So I feel like everyone is kind of happy right now. I feel that they are trying to accommodate for everyone, which is nice to see because you don't want to leave the casuals behind. You don't want to like all the effort the race for first guilds put into these raids. You don't also make it not fun for them. So I think this is definitely just trying to make everyone happy and see that is coming in these gated raids. And I'm sure they'll learn a lot from this first experiment.
Yeah, and we are here in the intermission again with everybody alive, so hopefully we can. I don't want to curse the chat though.
Oh, you. Robin short for a beam. No, Robin.
No, and we do not have a CR.
Kush died just before the intermission, so we wasted res. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, Chad, I'm so sorry.
What is that? Like, that's actually like obviously this is the first time being Carson. Did you like Caster Curse is actually real?
It is very real. It is very real.
Like I thought, there's just no way that's real. They just always use something to talk about. But now I'm here. Every time we talk, bro, they die. As soon as you cast the boss, it's like when you're just on a tangent, you're talking about like the race and all the other things, including the race. You know, like they play.
Right. Thanks.
Oh, as soon as you lock in on a pool, you talk about something goes wrong.
Yeah, unfortunately that is very true, and we tend to usually just pretend like it's not a good pool, and then you know you just hope it goes through because. You always have to think about it like you never want the chat to go against you, right? Like I was very known for the caster curse because I always get hyped up. You know, when you also play the game on a fairly higher level, and when you also do like raid leading and stuff like that, you kind of tend to see more things like you know when you have a good percentage in a pool because like some pools look way better than they are, right? Like you might be behind 5%, even though everybody's alive. You just know you're not gonna kill the boss, right?
Yeah.
So I get excited quite easy when I see that, and then I would instantly start like blabbling about how the pool is great, and then chat would go against me, and it is definitely caster curse is definitely a thing. But I also have different news now, because as you can see on our Mythic leaderboard powered by Warcraft logs, is that Echo in fact now has some data on it, and we can see that they're only 5% ahead of us as it is right now, which is a good thing. We just kind of calls their bluff last night, that they didn't really do much when they went dark. EU is pretty much at the same spot right now. I mean, guys, like the percentage right now is just one P2 clean pull.
Holy fuck.
Right? Like, obviously, like we've already seen that starting of P3 is a bit wild. So even if you do a perfect P2, you might just get it one shot the moment you land into P3, right? So the percentage could be a bit like misleading when it comes to that. But if you do actually manage to get past P2 and you do land in P3, you might pull ahead on that percentage.
Yeah, we just want to see a good P2 from Method. I feel like when we get to that phase, it seems to go boom pretty quick. So I just want to see a clean P2 phase there, and we can get to that P3. Obviously, Echo must have got P3 only a few times yesterday because they haven't really got any further. But yeah, the race is actually really tight right now, and the thing that's also quite interesting to see is that Method have actually catched up Echo's ball count, which means that they must be locked in and focused and pulling a lot, because obviously we got to this boss a little bit later than Echo, obviously our better in kill. So yeah, we are catching up pretty quick, right? Really. But we just got to keep making sure we get to the P2 every pull. Really, we can't really be having too many P1 wipes today.
I think it's something I was also talking with my players yesterday, that like, bosses like this, they tend to flip things around when it comes to overall progression, just because of the nature of how the boss is designed. Because like, for example, if you just look at those crystals or seeds, or however we want to call them, they're being held by certain players, right?
Yeah.
And they will affect by a lot how your progression is going, because the better your players are, like in that role, that doesn't mean the player is the best player in the world, guys, don't get me wrong. It's just a mechanic that some players gonna have an easy time with, let's put it so. Like, there are players who are really good at that, right? Like who are good at dodging stuff and like thinking about the next move, right? Because that's what it is with the crystals, right? Like you kind of have to think ahead where you want to drop it down, when you want to pick it up, like how you want to move with it. And if your guild has like players who are really comfortable with it, your progression might just get boosted by a lot. So that's like thing number one, right? And the other thing is as well, like, it's a long fight with a lot of overlaps, and it really comes down to like how clean you play mechanically. Like if you look at Beleren as a contrast, like Beleren was a very greedy boss, right? Like you just had to play on the edge all the time, and you had to like pump numbers, and like you had to hit certain break points, and like stop damage at some point, or like invest more. And that's a bit of that's a tricky thing always, right? That's a bit too much RNG for my taste. This fight doesn't really have RNG, right? This fight is just like you just blast, dodge stuff, and play clean, right? And
many coming.
And some guilds definitely vibe way better.
Watch.
With this than the others. So when we look at all the advantages the guilds had when they killed Beleren early and stuff like that, I think we're all on the even ground right now. Like, this is anybody's race to take still.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean, the only RNG factors you can have on this boss is them Beyblades, right? Like, some Beyblades, they are cursed. And like if you have to soak like your seed or something, when someone's seed like pops something, and you have to soak two yellow circles on the floor, and that Beyblade's coming at the same time, like, that is just not fun, right? But yeah, this boss is a lot more play good, and you kill the boss. Bellerin was a lot more get procs maybe lucky in the burn phase, and stop DPS at a certain time and kill boss. So yeah, I might prefer this boss over Bellerin to be honest, but they're both pretty good bosses. I vibe with these sort of bosses way more than like, because Bellerin was a bit more of a luck boss. Right? You need everything needs to align on Bellerin to kill the boss. It's like we see like the Chinese guilds on the leaderboard, right? Oh, actually, they just had a really good pull. So they had 36% on Bellerin. The Chinese guild just got down to 3%.
Yeah,
pick it up.
I just saw that actually.
Poking then
but yeah,
in the middle into
and they have a high pull kind of like what Method and Echo
pick it up.
Yeah, like I agree with what you said about Bellerin. It is like Bellerin is the type of fight where you could have like a perfect pull and you still not kill the boss. Because you just had a bit unfortunate like patterns in the intermission and some bad procs and somebody messed a cooldown and whatever. So it's definitely a fight that you just need that one pull kinda, and this fight is way more like consistency is the key here, and I think that's also the whole vibe around it, right? Like at the end of the day, I feel like whatever guild plays this fight more consistent will eventually take the world first on this fight.
Here we go. We're into the next intermission here.
Right.
Yeah.
Alive. Res, we got Combat Res. No, we haven't. Combat Res coming in 36 seconds, but I hope you won't need that. But yeah, this is the phase I want them to get a bit more consistent at now. Because I feel like it's just a rinse and repeat 3 times. You drop the seed to the left of the soak now, and you get in.
Confusion.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is what I'm saying. This is what like that just shouldn't happen at this point. You should not just go instantly boom here every time. It's really not that intense. I feel like they just get a bit panicky and then they just mistakes.
So the one thing that I'm like suspecting here is that generally speaking, every group should have a pre-assigned marker where they want to hang out. You know. And in the case of this, like 2 players were at the same marker who got the beam, and then the confusion was, well, who is going to go there? Generally, like you should already be at the marker. We think we've seen it even on most of the liquid pools as well, that usually when those beams come out, they're already in place. So I think that was the issue here. I think the player was just not at the marker that they were supposed to be initially. But even then, you should still know, you know, you kind of go there. You know, VCARS would be nice for that, right? Like, the VCARS just tells you, hey, go to green. Go to green, and then you're good. So, okay, happens. We're just, as long as we keep going there, you know, the good news is that, like, the small intermission after P1 seems to be going really smooth for us now. I think guilds struggle a lot there to find the consistency, you know, like, because that one is kind of one mistake and everybody blows up type of phase, right? So I feel like they found the consistency there. And you can see they're just like pulling the boss instantly, so whatever just happened there was probably just a small mistake, more miscommunication where you should be standing, and they're just okay, go again, get it. Would be quite hype, like if Method could actually get a pull off and, you know, just pull ahead on the leaderboard. It definitely would also just confirm to the players that this is anybody's boss right now,
Yeah, for sure. We got a nice chatter in the stream. Memphis Progress has been my favourite. Great casters. Yes, dude. Let's go.
Triangle, get ready.
As usual.
As usual, yeah. But yeah, a bit also about what Stress said. The 20% speed nerf on the Glaives has definitely made P1 more consistent. Like, since they made that nerf to this boss, I feel like we don't see that many P1 wipes now. Where beforehand we were seeing a lot of P1 wipes where you were just praying to get through P1 and then you kind of got some progress in this fight. So yeah, I think that is a great nerf that Blizzard have actually made to this boss without like making it too easy for one guild and making it like, cause obviously with nerfs always feel bad. Like no guild benefits like more from nerfs than another guild. Like normally, like, last time with Razgath, Echo got blessed with the nerf timer, right? And this time I'd say they got more blessed with the nerf timing, but like it's 50-50 when they do it. And it never feels good for the race when they nerf a boss, when they have to nerf a boss, right? But
Yeah.
this nerf I feel like is a pretty good one. I don't think it's too impactful on the race.
Go all in.
And yeah,
I mean, we're so many dead.
I think it's a good nerf.
Yeah, hence why I didn't understand the Scribe's post on the social media last night. That was a bit. I was like, I don't agree with that statement. Like I felt like it was a bit.
What's for your feet during that?
Yeah, it was a bit salty, like because as we mentioned, all three kills were already past P1, so nobody got actually help to get past it. It was just like all three kills were past P1, and all Blizzard really did is they probably shredded the pull count, the total pull count at the end of the World First race by about 50 pulls, I would say. Like those are the pulls that you would have additionally just from Blade, you know, kills and stuff like that. So that's just a really solid nerf. And, like, that's what it is.
Oh, them soaks. Oh, that's nice. They had the soaks whilst the Leaf was coming there. So Hunter had these with Turtle. That was cool.
Yeah.
Actually impossible to see.
But it's also like it's also generally a good fight design when you're able to use your stuff like by free will, like turtles and things like that. Like usually, you know, fights end up being fights end up being like completely set. Like, oh yeah, you have to use it there. You know, you cannot use it anywhere else, right? But to be able to just use it and pop or soak a crystal in the beam and stuff like that is always good. It promotes like good gameplay, right? Like it shows off the skill and the attention some people have. So yeah, I'm really happy with this fight. Like I honestly, I am mind blown how good it is so far.
Yeah, I actually think this is one of the best bosses that I've actually watched in terms of like intensity and how cool it all looks on the screen, right? I definitely think this is a really good boss, and it's just so insane to see these players like play this boss to perfection most of the time. It's like when last night when you're watching the raids and you think they've been playing for like 15 hours. Imagine playing this boss after playing the game for 15 hours. Like that's just insane, right? But these players do it and they do it well. It's something that we don't really think about as much when you think of these games that are online right now for like last night, let's say for 40-15 hours and they're still playing at their minds. It's something you definitely forget about, the actual attention span that these gamers need to have.
Alright, so we are going back to P2 with two players that unfortunately, with one of them being a healer. We know P2 feels a bit more rough if you have players who are dead. But let's see if we can at least do the markers properly now and all the stacking and, you know, seed dropping, so we can see we live the first set. That's a good news already. So now it becomes rinse and repeat. You drop the seed in the middle of the room, you spread out, everybody has their positions, you go back, pick up the seeds and go back in the positions. Yes, in between the markers.
I stopped relying on you guys anymore, I gave up.
The planets come back. As you can see, the raid is dropping low, but that is because the healer is dead and you have one guy last to reduce the damage from those soaks now. Again, the markers are placed perfectly. Everybody's gonna go in now. Boom.
It's just rinse and repeat, no?
Yeah. VP is back alive now. We do have a healer alive now, so
we lost the tank.
And we lost. Unfortunate. We are. Okay, so far decent pool though. Like
maybe get a new best here if we.
If they manage to survive this, they could end up in P3 now, and this could be a new best. We are very close to it now. Just like half a percent off. One more drop. One more shot.
No, not the seeds. Oh no! Oh, so close. That's good though.
I wonder what happened there with that small move. Did the player just like, not trust the marker, or what happened there? Yeah, like, but good spot to wipe in. Yeah, it was not the cleanest. Was not the cleanest of the pools. Like, I believe it was the new best still. No, could it be?
No, it's close. It was close. Do you think there's a secret phase in this boss? Kicks.
Divine protection.
I don't think so, but there's people talk about secret phase.
So, you know, secret phase predictions were historically never accurate on the stream.
Yeah.
Like, they really happen only when you don't expect them.
The
bounces.
I mean, the fight. the fight is 9 minutes 15 long apparently if you count the current idea of the enrage timer, which in one way does leave it a bit of a gap. You know, end bosses do tend to go well over 10 minutes on regular occasion, so having a secret phase would be fine, I guess, after, because you also do assume that you're gonna push the boss before 9:15. Like 9:15 is the absolute maximum that you could possibly go in P3. So if you would do it, like I'd say, at 9 minutes, there's definitely a gap there to fill with a secret phase if you wanted to do it, so nothing stops you when it comes to the timer. I just don't. I personally don't think that the Blizzard really likes secret phases anymore. I think that's a thing of the past. I think that's something that was cool in the past because, like, you know, you could not. Well, you could always data mine things, but not as good as you can do it now. And I feel like, you know, secret phase, is it really secret, right? Like, I don't think you can put a secret phase into the game without anybody knowing about it, right?
Yeah, because of data one and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's secret. So if you put it as a, if you like tag it as secret, right, it comes out earlier, and then it's like, well, not a surprise, right? So I don't think Blizzard really enjoys making those anymore.
Yeah, I'll take that. But yeah, got a little break time up here, guys. Maybe they're talking about the end of that E2 that they just wiped at. Yeah, we imagine Halondras just jumps down, bro, and then Cliveza jumps down as well. And we have 3 bosses at the end. Lyra, Cliveza, and Halondras all just smacking us.
Yeah, or you just get the Paladins back and you're like, guys, we need more dispels in the comp again.
Yeah.
The Mistweavers back.
Watch out.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see.
2, 1, shooting.
Alright, and while we are on the break timer, I'm gonna use this moment just to go for a quick holy refill. I'll be right back.
Yep. If anyone has any questions in the chat, just throw them at me, guys. I'm here to just chill whilst Perky goes for his holy refill. Yeah, get me back in the raid, Dark Mech, dude, on the Boomkin. Imagine a Boomkin trying to survive this fight, dude. That would not happen. It's obviously...
I'm also what the one that was close to the boss.
That would just be super memes. Edge, yeah, we'd just be
nameplate on top of each other.
A bird of... a dead bird on the floor. A bit like Bellerin, dude.
Just took him out.
Well, it's quite sad that we actually killed a bird and the Boomkin didn't actually, was not on the raid.
5 minutes, I don't know how everyone feels.
What?
Nah, we killed.
Bacon. But yeah, they've been playing you're my favourite Boomy, whereas me want to play it. That's the next deal. I appreciate that. I played Boomkin quite a while. I mean, I was always a big Warlock back in the day as well. So yeah, I played a lot of Warlock Hunter and Boomkin on Progress, really. What's your go-to pizza toppings? What jalapenos? I love jalapenos on pizza. I also do like doner meat, but that's only if I've had a few alcoholic drinks. If I haven't had a few alcoholic drinks, then I prefer just pepperoni, jalapeno, and I like sausage meat as well sometimes. Talk to me about how you guys would approach this fight. What is Biff doing? What happens between pulls? Is there like an encounter zone that Biff shows stuff that you guys watched it? Yeah, so basically a big plus to Method's progress in the race world first is when Noggy joined and he brought his video tool back to Method. So basically what happens when you have a wipe like we just had, when you haven't seen something before, you can all hop in and VOD review, right, and look exactly what happened on that pull. So that's like one thing that Noggy's made, which is an insane bit of toolkit, which all the top 3 guilds do have. But Method never really had a proper one until Noggy joined. So yeah, basically Biff, and also what will happen like on Bellerin is Biff will actually not be raid leading Noggy at the start of these pulls because everyone knows what to do in P1 now. So Biff will be like in the background, maybe with like Morana and Turtle and the analysts and stuff going through what actually went wrong and what is actually happening on these boss pulls. And yeah, basically Biff's actually like doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. In between these pulls. The VOD review tool is really insane. What's your order at Greg's? What actually is my order at Greg's? I haven't had a Greg's in a long time. I like the steak and out
I need to restart while after this. Sorry, you will have one try without the thing.
Bacon and cheese turnovers are quite good. Sausage rolls, obviously, they're just always good at Greg's. But the only thing I hate about Greg's is sometimes you have a hot Greg's and sometimes you have a cold Greg's, dude. Like that is what tilts me at Greg's. Like, why is it never just hot? Like, I want my food to be hot. I don't want to be like they can't serve hot food in case people burn their mouths. Like, what is that? Like, we're all humans. Like, you just blow your food, dude, if it's too hot.
All right, and I'm just
welcome back
for a new pool. First pool after the break, so
yeah, we've been talking about food the whole time.
Oh yeah, I definitely need some food after. After
same.
Today. And there's also something special about just eating and watching the world first race. I don't know. I love when I have some good food and I just have like the stream on my TV. And I'm just watching Method Cast and like we are blasting. So it is going to be a very good breakfast after.
We're talking about like basically Noggy built his own VOD review tool, right? Which is when Method really started performing a lot better in his races because Biff can then show the raiders exactly what he wants from them from a review tool, which Noggy made himself. Obviously, the other two groups have got access to this software with their own developers. But yeah, Biff will basically be having a break. The best pull we just had, Biff will be taking that break to go look at that VOD review and see exactly what went wrong and what they can fix. So yeah.
Yeah, I think in general, like all the things, tools like that are being made are like great and add more to the game. Wish a lot of that would be like public, but I also do understand why it's not because obviously like you just want your advantage, and it's also like a thing that even in other sports teams do have like some small secret tech that they do, some small exercises.
Team prep
that they would do that others don't and stuff like that. So it is part of every competitive sport, so that like no bad feelings when it comes to like not releasing stuff like that. It's just cool to see, right? Like and I also feel like the moment like the word gets out, like somebody does end up recreating it, right? Like so like a VOD review tool is like for non-world first guilds not as impactful as it is for them, so hence why you don't really like gonna see it be so mainstream, I guess. But like some other stuff like sim tools and like things that you can use on a daily basis are probably like always being made by the community at the moment they kind of see something like that show up.
And I'll fix after this try, guys.
Right attack.
I also do think that they have like specialized tools for simming the characters, right? Like I know you cannot say probably into details, but you probably know something about it, right?
Yeah, they have obviously some super good what they call SimC strings that they obviously don't release that help you sim your classes a bit better than the average player, but there are also very good community driven developers out there that help people with their classes and discords and stuff, which I think is cool. There is a lot of like community information out there. You just have to join the discords, the class discords. And there are some very clever people that are doing that behind the scenes, but obviously, Method will have clever people inside also doing different sims and running different specs and stuff without trying to release it to the public.
2, 1,
Divine protection.
Yeah, I heard that Canex is like the smartest guy when it comes to the druid, like that nobody knows better about druid than Canex. So having him in Method is for sure a massive advantage. Especially if Druid would actually be good,
Yeah, I was gonna say, Wait, if Druid's good, sure, but Druid's not been good for such a long time that I don't think has been too much of a worry right now. But we are going to this next phase again, guys. We have one dead, which is not too bad. It's okay. It's not a healer. We can still play this fight properly. Let's just see us get through them 3 drops and soaks now. So drop the seeds, soak, pick the seeds up, take them to the middle, drop the seeds again, and get out the circles.
In between the markers.
After these circles, you want to dodge the cores, which are going to come to the boss. Pick up your C's, dodge the cores, which are going to jump to the boss in a second. 1 now.
Alright, we're dodging the cores, great. And now the same thing repeats. Be at your marker with your team. As we can see, they're pre-positioned already. And now we're gonna drop in one. Everybody goes in. Let's see the damage. Perfectly done. Now you place the stuff back then.
Pick it up.
In the middle, spread out. Everybody goes to their spot.
Great damage into.
It's gonna be a new best as well, guys. This is good.
Right of the ward markers.
Okay.
We have a res for one healer. No, we don't.
I believe. Yeah, I believe it was just a lot of damage there. Like they didn't really do necessarily something bad. It's like, but let's see if they can get back past this. It's like every personal in the game right now.
Yeah,
pick up the seed, try to play the spool. Unfortunate, but we have our new best. Yeah, 57% chat.
Our DPS is good because we are basically on pace with Echo's DPS.
Yeah, we're 2% away from them. You know, like that's
P3. Yeah, they actually got to P3, so our DPS is on track. Them at least.
Yeah, chat, we are catching up. Our team has come to battle today, it seems, you know. And all those deaths were preventable. I feel like there was no mistake there happening. It was just healing, which is kind of natural, right? You kind of do have to fine-tune it a bit, like you know, even if you dodge those balls when they get like pulled into the markers, right? They still do a lot of damage to the entire raid. So I think we lost like a player there, and we did definitely lose some when we spread, just because the damage is so high. So that's just some fine-tuning that's gonna be happening. But other than that, it is looking quite solid.
Yeah, we should have a real good day of progress today. Personally, I think Method and Echo need to kill this boss today, tonight. That's my prediction personally, because Liquid are always really good at finding DPS. I don't think the DPS check's going to be a problem for them. I think it's going to be, can they move certain cooldowns, certain timers, like last time, I don't know what they need to do. But I personally think that Liquid will kill bosses when they wake up tomorrow, for them, obviously. So I think Echo and Method need to play out of their minds today and get this boss down somehow. It's going to be obviously a really insane thing to do, but you've definitely seen it before. I personally think Liquid will kill boss tomorrow if not.
Oh yeah, I agree. Like I think EU has to deliver today, right? Like I think if that percentage that Liquid currently has is not reached, that is like a catastrophe for EU.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But I do believe that's going to be broken, that percentage. Like I do think like EU has started quite strong this morning. Well, at least Meto did. I can't say for Echo, I didn't really watch into their pools, but judging by the fact that we are very close to their percentage, and chat leaderboard did not update yet. We do in fact have a new best pool, which is very close to Echo 1. So it is dark. It is dark on my screen.
Yeah. They might do a cash reset too far.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like they have like scheduled Alt F4s in a way, right? Where they just reset the game because it's lagging and stuff like that, no?
Yeah, Echo are in the intermission. We just wiped that now. I'm watching them on my second screen because it's always good to have competition up so we can commentate on our competitors as well, as it's all hype for the race.
Why don't you?
Yeah, that was definitely a cache restart. Everybody's offline, so people will be just joining the game very shortly. And yeah, we take the time to just check out the competitors, and
that's the idea.
It was a bit of a surprise.
In a hot pool. But now we are allowed to jinx them because we're casters, right? So, yeah, their pool is looking really solid.
Yeah, they're going to P3 in about 30 seconds, I think.
Yeah.
They can get through this next soak.
You know what? It's fine. I was like.
The damage there is just so ridiculous, as you can see. They're pretty alive. Like now they have one more spread, well, two more, and they are losing players there already. They do have a CR, I guess. So
yeah, and they're going to last phase.
Yeah. Okay, but that looks to be their next best, at least. So they are instantly like fighting back to our best pool.
Keep doing that.
Let's see if they can lose.
This soak's nuts.
Yeah, that soak is nuts, right? Like
yeah, they always wipe here.
But like as you mentioned, like that also goes to show that our damage is in fact quite high. Like you are absolutely right. That pool was not even their best. There was like 56%, I think.
Yeah.
So and we had the 57 or so.
56, 57, yeah.
Yeah, on the pool where we
57, I
had
think.
several players dead as well.
Wave spawning.
I do wonder when it's gonna update.
You have to play on
Yeah. Well, we've got 30 minutes left of our shift, Perky, so hopefully we get another good pool in here. We're now pulling the boss. Let's have a look.
Being well balanced range.
Yeah.
Who's joining us after that? Joining the stream? Is it Teapot and
playing with that?
Rayton, or who's it?
It seems to be
beams.
Mighty Teapot and Rage Darling. You are absolutely
Yeah.
correct.
You're gonna have a
sir.
great stream till lunchtime at least for them two.
Chaser. Grant you. Get your focuses. Kicks.
And Teapot gets to
Divine
cast some
protection.
mythic progress again, which is fun.
Yeah,
Listen.
finally, right?
Yeah, we were saying me and Teapot got really unlucky last time because we were always doing the early stream. Like, they were always doing splits in the early streams with which we had to cast.
Yeah, it's been a very awkward race in general to cast, but at least now I think every single caster is happy to go online now, you know, and just have something fun to watch and to commentate. Like, it's so much easier. You know, I think it also shows like definitely a lot of talent in a lot of casters. You know, when you have these bosses that are this hard, and you just like get to talk about it. Like, so this is what we're here for, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so I do see like that Warcraft logs is actually down right now.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna say the leaderboard thing's not actually working.
Yeah,
right?
I wanted to check it manually now, and I went to see, and he's just like dead.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit unfortunate. I guess everybody's just refreshing right now. Yeah, like the
hype
it
is
cannot-
real.
Yeah, the hype is real, chat.
It's a Caesar, bro.
All right. So
Holy fuck, dude. Did the boss
obviously there are alternatives, bro, that I am looking into. Okay.
That was sent straight
So
from
on Raider.io, the official percentage is 57.86 for Meta and 55 for Echo, but it does show us ahead of Echo right now for some reason. I guess it's the phases or something like that. I'm not sure.
Actually, we can overcome this boss by like
But yeah, guys,
2%.
57.86 is
Oh,
our
also,
current
perfect.
best, and
You
it
have
will
cloak there at the
update
very end at 10 range?
at some point.
Yep.
And yeah.
Okay.
We're just happy we're playing good,
on the
right?
moving bar,
Yeah,
That's all that
Before it
matters.
reaches 0, you have to press it. Same as Narco. After we use the bubble, it's a 5-second.
No, chat.
Like after the
Echo
hit,
is
5 seconds later.
indeed back on the leaderboards. They're not dark. They're pulling right now, so everybody is awake and live, and you can watch the entire world first race unfold. But you should definitely stick with us because we are blasting in the morning, except now.
Go away, dude. There's no way.
Focus. Good kicks.
I mean, chat is also has a point, right? That Liquid is in fact like almost 100 pulls ahead of us.
Oh yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Of course, yeah.
So that is still a lot of pulls to go for us to get there, and judging by the current
Place
performance,
one
we
now.
will be easily taking that 20% mark before that pull count, is achieved. But like, we do also have to like give credit. Like, we don't know how good the Liquid actually played at P3, right? Maybe they are just like absolutely insanely skilled in that phase, and nobody comes close to that. Like, it's always like hard to just say things based on the pull count. Like, we just have to get there and see how things unfold.
But it's the start of P3. Like, I think it's so intense. Like, they have to soak them seeds, spawn circles. Like, and they're in like three different quadrants or 4 different quadrants of the room. I don't even know. Like, there seems to be so many different soaks you have to get to, and obviously players get knocked in the direction, I guess, that they are probably positioned to soak in. But the damage output is just insane. Obviously, Liquid must have got through that with everyone alive, which is nuts in my head. Because every time I seem to see Echo get there, they just instantly blow up, right?
Yeah, it does seem that's the hardest part, right? Not blowing up right at the start.
Yeah, yeah.
If you get things going, right, like then it kind of becomes self-explanatory.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah, hopefully we get a good last pull here for me and Perky before we have to head off on our shift, guys. But we're in safe hands with Rage, Darling, and Teapot. So let's see if we can get a good pull here. See if we can not blow up this time.
Playing like this.
Chad is also saying that like they watched Liquid all day, and yeah, it was like consistent T1 and P2, and then basically the last 2 hours they just managed to do like 3 really good pulls into phase 3, and that's how I can imagine it goes overall. Yeah.
Right, good range. Front left range.
All right, we are here in P1 still. So far so good. Like Banger said, we do not have many pulls left on our shift at least, but the upcoming caster will have a lot of content going for them. So we are just hoping to see another best potential pull, you know, like while we're still here, and then you guys can enjoy the rest of the day with different crew.
Always worked so far, but this was mega.
And we'll just be watching from the side.
Yes, that's some crazy position.
I did 50.
I will actually try and keep.
But it's also like timing, right? I mean, it's Easter, right?
Yeah.
So I guess a lot of players, you know, would have other plans usually, you know, family gatherings and stuff like that. Now you get to explain your fam, you know, guys. I'm kind of stuck killing a boss here, you know, like it is not looking great for the Easter. But there is still time tomorrow if they kill it today, so...
Yeah, I mean, nothing was worse than casting Napri. I think I was killing the second to last boss on Christmas Day, so...
One good choice.
Sorry, Jesus, it's world first time. Yeah, you could say so.
Yeah.
This guy's gonna be 49% when we
Alright, we are reaching the end of P1. We just need to survive this one small point, and there we go. Just don't get hit by the last Beyblades, and we are in the intermission right now. They will despawn in a few seconds. There we go. Everybody goes to their position, and now this is usually easy. Everybody's alive and everybody's in their spot. Overall, the beginning is the hardest one. Once you get past that, everybody kind of found it, and boom.
I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, it had to happen, right? It was going way too good for us on one of our last pulls. So
spawning now.
So it had to happen, right? But yeah, as mentioned, literally that first point of the first move of the intermission is the hardest one, right? If you get into position, then you're just wiggling left and right. Then you're kind of vibing, yeah? But the first move is the hardest one.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like this fight, that intermission is kind of where you get your breath back. Everyone's in a position, you just take a bit of damage, heals have to heal. Don't blow up, and then you go to another intense phase again.
Coming through.
Yeah.
Around quick.
Alright, quick pull again, but they're
one more pull.
Time, yeah.
Right.
Divine protection.
Do you think like you know, if you look at Liquid, they probably felt like they wanted to do more progress than they did. I feel like if you look at Echo, they probably feel like they should do more progress because I think Echo feels confident this entire tier that they're playing way better, and I think, you know, they wish they could be already pulling towards that 30% mark, kinda, or like 20%.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like Method is like in a really good position right now, because I feel like Method is like, we feel like we caught up, right? Like we're back in business. And for us this must feel amazing, because from here it can only get better, no?
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I guess this is the thing about Liquid, which they said which they didn't really want to do, is give too much information to Echo before they have to go to sleep, right? So I reckon Liquid will be a little bit scared when they go to bed tonight, or now. But like you say, 19% is still a lot percent. Like you're saying, the DPS check is still real, and Echo are going to have to go through all them DPS optimizations as well, which I guess Liquid analysts are probably doing right now as they sleep. So yeah, I reckon Liquid went to bed feeling pretty confident that they hopefully will wake up and the boss will still be alive. But I reckon the 4 or 5 hours where Liquid, Echo, and Method all play at the same time, towards the end of Echo Methods tonight will be very fun to watch. So yeah, definitely make sure you tune into that, guys.
Well bouncing. Watch it.
Yeah, and also quite important to mention as well is that Liquid had that pool pretty much as one of their last pools as well, right?
Yeah.
So it could have been a slight disaster for them if they went to bed at 35%, because that was their best before that pool, right?
Yeah.
35% and going to bed would definitely feel very bad, I think.
First spawning now. 1 shooting. 2 spawn.
Yeah, Chad is saying the very last pool. So yeah, like
Shooting.
that gave you a bit of a breather, right, before you went to bed. But like, I would feel that they would not get much sleep if they actually went to bed at 35%. I think they would have felt like the race is kind of over for them. At least, it doesn't mean necessarily, right? But like, it does give you a bit of an early hint that you might be losing this race, right?
Yeah, I mean that pool was super insane for them to get at that time as well, because it gives them so much more information for the analysts to work from, right? Like that is so important in these sort of tight races. Like that pool was insanely well timed. Let's just say.
It's drinking nothing all day.
Yeah, and if they in fact end up winning the race, you could probably say that that's because that's the reason why. Yeah, that pool, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. And obviously that's what happens. You play out your minds for one pool, and that's the difference. It's like Dimensions, right? When Echo lost from a 0.5% wipe, that one pool wins you the race. Like if you'd have played that little bit better on that pool, then Echo would have won that race, and it would have been a different story, right? But it's the little twists and turns in the race that make it so exciting to watch.
Yeah, and I always feel like that's an important factor to it, right? Like it is often like very small things that decide the outcome. At the end of the day, though, you're always gonna talk about the winner and not about the loser, right? But last year it was, if we are honest, like it was Echo's tier to win. They just messed up the one pool, and it's how things go in life sometimes, like in every sport we've seen this happen, and unfortunate for us, this pool was not this. We blow up, so that also means
that is going to be the end of me and Perky. It's been another great cast today with you. I've really enjoyed my time here, and we are leaving you with Rage Dying and the good Teapot. So yeah, you're in safe hands today, guys. But yeah, what you got to say, Perky, to finish off our shift here?
Yeah, I'm super happy with how our shift went. We did see some really great pulls. We've seen some good consistency, and we definitely know that we are very close to Echo right now in terms of progression. So hope you guys have fun the rest of the day. Hope we pull ahead, and I guess in Rage and Mighty Teapot, enjoy. See you guys tomorrow.
See you guys. Thank you for the great stream, and yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Hello, Teapot. I believe it's our first time ever casting together, I think.
We finally meet at long last. We've been dodging each other, ships passing in the night for quite a while, I think, for basically both of the previous, both the last 2 tiers. We've finally encountered, and what a time to do it, actually. This is a very, very big day. We've got a lot of work to do.
No pressure, but yeah, we have a
I'm gonna kill the boss
carry through for the next few hours.
Narco, by the way?
Yeah. Of course, some big developments. There's a couple of the, that nerf to phase 1, I think, was like a really big game changer for this race, of course, because we can see these glaives spinning around. They got slowed down quite a bit, and that's just increased the phase 1 consistency so much now. So we're just getting a lot more exposure to phase 2, and then hopefully very, very soon to phase 3 as well. So it turned this from, is this boss going to die this reset? I think, realistically, is this boss going to die today is now the big question that we have to ask ourselves.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting day for all the raids across the board.
If you don't have a mark.
It's going to be a good morning, Easter morning. I have my coffee in my hand. I'm cozy, good company. I'm ready. I'm ready to see some kills, question mark, potentially. Also, at least some good progression. But yeah, if you guys are just joining us, hello, good morning. I hope you're doing good. Good morning, chat. Good morning, chat. Happy Easter to all that celebrate. I hope there has been many chocolate eggs in many mouths already. But yeah, it should be a good morning. I'm really, really excited. I know that late last night, before Liquid went to bed, they had that really good poll. And Echo are currently
at the end also, Marco, I'll just say
It'd be nice to see some
Narco in 3,
consistency
2,
for us so
1.
that we
You
can
know,
actually
that's
see
what I
the
will
P3,
say.
because I've
For your
not
bubble.
physically seen
Okay.
P3, so it would be really cool to see it in the ship.
Yep.
And just see like exactly what
Alright.
the raiders have in store to try and figure out, because it seems like there's the P1, P2, and P3 are completely different phases from what I heard from Sean yesterday, which is crazy. It just means that they have to learn like an entirely new movement pattern, new defensives, new healing.
I need to restart, yes.
This boss is absolutely insane for healing, I hear, because they're just getting like constant damage.
Just put the green numbers in there. Just come on,
Yeah.
just fill the bar. Come on, look at the frame, make the bar go up. Come on, like it's not that hard. But no, of course, yeah, you're absolutely correct. Like the healing is unbelievably brutal. Like the phase 2 as well. It's
Yeah,
just
I'm
so
changing.
difficult.
I'm
There's
changing.
so
my
much
personal,
damage
though.
going
I'm
out.
dropping a
And
use
the thing
in
is, you have to be
P2
stable
so that I have
at
one
all of
instantly
the
when I-
connecting
when
points
I
as
get
well.
into
And that's
P3,
something that I
so
think
my
we're
end
going to
first won't-
see a
I won't
couple of
have that
attempts
much.
kind of go
I'll
into
just
here.
basically be
Is that
alive
it's not just going to be
for like
getting
10
to
seconds
phase
and
3.
hopefully
It's
the
going to be
boss will
getting to phase 3 and then actually surviving the first couple of seconds, because there's this devastating kind of transition point, right, going from phase 2 going into phase 3, where you have to collect all of these things, get all of the soaks, right? Like if you miss even a single one, you're dead, and then everyone has to group up again, and then the phase can begin in earnest, right? And then that is a really, really scary point. We're going into phase 2 right now, by the way, or rather the intermission before phase 2. That's a really big moment, because again, let's see if we can get another new best. We saw a new best relatively recently, I believe, towards the end of the previous caster shift. Let's see if we can get one right at the beginning of this one, because yeah, like I don't want to put the pressure on too much and maybe get the chat a little bit too nervous. So I'll tell you what, if I'm Method and we haven't killed it today, I'm sweating, because I think there is a very high chance that Liquid, when they come back fresh, when they go big, when they push into the deep night, I think they're going to be able to find that kill. So we've got to go big today.
If we kill now, we go to the real
I mean,
golden
P3, like I
archives
said,
after.
it is a whole different ball game as well. And like we're seeing progression through P1 and we're seeing progression through P2, but like some progression through P2. But then, like you said, that horrible nasty transition. The healers have got to heal, and I feel like we have to move our defensives. Probably at some point, there's going to be another conversation about like where can we find that extra protection from all this damage that's going out. But I have to say, I visually love this phase. I think it looks absolutely beautiful, and I really like the mechanics of the player agency, I guess, where they have to position themselves with these beams to make sure that it fires through those orbs, and then it's like 4-4-4. Correct me if I'm wrong, or is there an additional 4?
Yeah. I think we clipped the shard there or something like that, because we're not quite right with those, so it's detonating us and sending us back to the start. But yeah, we have to repeat that mechanic 3 times, right? So yeah, we've got 4 of those beams going out 3 times, so we hit all of those kind of swirling orbs at the end, then they crash into the boss, dealing massive damage. It's a really lovely phase, honestly, right? It's a really lovely phase. A proper kind of super cool dance style phase. We've got to pick up the shard, you've got to drop the shard, right? You get pulled into the middle, drop the shard in the middle, everyone rushes out so you don't hit them with the spread mechanics, right? Really, really cool, very elegant counter level, but you get spat out into phase 3 at the end. But yeah, look, I'll tell you what, the healers aren't going to have, they don't have the privilege that we do here as the casters to observe the pretty colors, because they're going to be locked into those raid frames, making sure that nobody dies, because every single event, every single mechanic that's going off there is just doing so much damage, right? It's so much damage. If anyone's not topped, that's just going to be a death. And then of course that's going to spiral out of control, because again, if you've got less people in those beam soaks, it's not going to be pretty, let me tell you that.
Yeah, we can see in that phase as well, we had both of the resto healers in tree form. They're just absolutely pumping as much healing as they possibly can across that frame for us. Like I said, if they dip, it's not very high chance they're going to be able to catch up, because it's just an insane amount of damage. And I feel like healing isn't necessary. Like I've not touched on it that much during my shifts, and I feel like I need to kind of give the healers a little bit of appreciation and a little bit of a nod, because they're getting constant raid AoE damage spread across the board, as well as having to deal with the crystals and healing those crystals. So when the crystals pop out, we got to make sure that they heal them all the way up to the top. And yeah, the tanks as well. Oh my god, T-Fog, I don't know if you've seen the amount of damage that the tanks are taking, but it's like, oh, it scares me watching the blood DK health frames just going up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's all on him. Like, the healers can only do so much.
Yeah, of course, and the tanks really have to stand firm here, because if you do have a death, you would really not want to use it on a tank, right? Like, you'd want to potentially have it so if a healer goes down, you can recover them as quickly as possible. And yeah, like, when even Prot Warrior is feeling a little bit scared right now, you know that that tank buster is pretty demonic. I think, you know, honestly though, I think the tanks are maybe, they're probably not having as tough a time as they were, I think, on Bella, and I think that fight was like really mechanically intensive for tanks. Whereas this one's, I think, a little bit more chilled mechanically speaking, but the damage intake, yeah, you are 1,000,000% correct. The damage intake is so unbelievably high that, like, if there's any kind of mistake going on, you can definitely flop over as the tank very, very easily.
Yeah, dude, like, Balaran was, like, really mechanically intense for those tanks. Like, I love a tank fight, I really, really do. But they had a lot on their plate, like, not just the amount of damage that they were taking, but also, like, the amount of movement that they had to move the boss around the arena, and like the responsibility of keeping all of the rest of the raid safe. There was it was a lot, and I'm not gonna lie, going from a fight like that as a tank main to seeing this fight, I was a little bit disappointed, because, you know, like you just want a good fight as a tank, right? Because it's not often that we get good raid bosses, right? Usually it's taunt 1, taunt 2, move the boss a little bit, move it out, move it in, and then that's kind of it. So when we moved into Lura, and I saw what the tanks had to do for Lura, at least on normal, I was a little bit disappointed, because it didn't feel like there was that much agency on us. It didn't feel like there was that much pressure. Again, taunt 1, taunt 2. But actually, I'd like to retract my statement I said earlier a couple days ago. Chat, I was wrong. I feel like the tanks do have a little bit more to do. I didn't realize that the glaive spawn was something that the tanks had kind of authority over. I'm not too sure what the specifics are, but I think I heard that the glaive spawn from the tanks, or not from the tanks. Sorry.
Shooting.
The glaive spawn from the boss, but the tanks.
One shooting. 2 beams. 2.
Control the orientation
over, yeah.
New beams.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do have to be mindful of that, right? If they have the boss in the wrong spot, then these glaives can be a lot more chaotic. That's for sure, right? And that's why we see this very consistent positioning coming out there, like right up against that pillar, right? Facing the boss in the right direction. Some fairly precise positioning there to make sure that we get that done correctly. So yeah, they really tried to avoid moving the boss whatsoever. You can see that the tanks are going to end up just staying here pretty much as possible, locking the boss down and keeping it near those pillars to make the glaive balances a little bit more favorable for us.
It's interesting that they decided to stay with the pillars in the end, because yesterday they were trialing, I'm not sure if you saw, but they were trialing with bringing the boss in the Sunwell, and then just outside the Sunwell to try and like kind of manipulate these glaives, because they were such a pressure point yesterday before the nerfs came in. Were you expecting the nerfs to come in, like any nerfs whatsoever, or were you just as shocked as everyone else?
On top of the
I was I was surprised and also not surprised, because I think that, you know, on the one hand, like, yeah, Blizzard probably don't want it going to another reset, but on the other hand, I think it was killable, just insanely difficult. However, I think the way they nerfed it was actually rather good, because they didn't really change the mechanical intensity that much. I think they just tried to reduce the I guess the word for it would be unfairness. I think when we were seeing a lot of the pulls yesterday, a lot of the wipes in phase 1, some of them were what I would classify as like, okay, yeah, that was actually pretty unfair, because the glaives were just so fast. There's so many of them. They're bouncing all over the place. And when they were at that higher speed, there were just some overlaps where you go, okay, well, you know, guess I'm dead. You know, that's it. You know, it's time to give up. Time to just, you know, just embrace the void, I guess, at this point. So I think it's a decent targeted nerf. And yeah, looking at phase 2 and phase 3, I think that phase 1 was pretty clearly the a little bit of an outlier in terms of the difficulty. Like, you know, phase 2, I think once we see Method get some more reps on it, I think it will become very consistent. Like once we've kind of got through there and we've seen phase 3 and we've had some reps, I don't think we're going to see many phase 2 wipes anymore. And it will be, I think it's kind of the same for phase 3. Once we really get a good feel for that phase 3 transition, I think it will become very consistent, right? And ultimately phase 3 as well. Phase 3 is not quite as volatile, I think, because the memory game mechanic isn't as kind of fiendish as it is in phase 1. So looking at how the difficulty of the fight is kind of panning out overall, I think the nerf does make some sense because it was just so volatile, right? And so difficult to deal with. I think that it was, it was like by far the hardest part of the fight, I think. And now it's like a little bit more, there's a bit more parity.
The nerfs that came in, were they just nerfs to glaives or were there additional nerfs as well?
So there was a change to the glaives to make them go slower and have a better visual. And there was also a cheeky little thing going on with the phase 3 HP sharing mechanic, I think, as well, right? With like because when you go into phase 3, you get split into 2 groups, right? And one of you is you're in 2 different phases of reality. And it's classic mechanic, right? If you touch gamer from the other phase, you're dead. See, it's over. Right? You know, you're dead. But the 2 lures, obviously they have the same. Right, so like you don't. It's not like you have to kill both of them and they have separate health pools. They're both shared. I think they changed something with that, so I think make the DPS check a bit more reasonable. I think. I'm not entirely sure. I think it was very mysterious. I was reading it on the WoWHerd article and it said we don't know exactly what this change does, but it's probably to make the DPS check a little bit easier. So that's what happened. Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, I don't know about you, but I don't know if I want to see any DPS checks easier in P3 because it kind of weighs in our benefit that there would be DPS checks in the final phase, just from a competition standpoint, right? Because the other 2 teams, they have got progression on their later part of the fight, so they have that muscle memory and they're at least training themselves on it, right? At least with a DPS check, they then would have to go back and have that conversation and be like, right, we need to find 20% damage in the earlier phases in order to put it into the latter phases. So it's just kind of like an additional roadblock in a sense, and you know, being slightly behind means that we get the benefit of getting information like that. So I'm not too sure if I like the sound of that, but I mean, we'll see how it plays out. At the end of the day, we got to get there, right? We got to see how it feels.
And we were so close to just getting there now, a new best at 56, but we just barely failed. On that last
secret phase?
I'm pretty sure it was the same thing as the previous attempt. Because if we
I think it's just
those shards or spreads, it was very, very bad news.
It looked like just
for us. So I think I'm pretty sure that was the situation. Because if any of that goes off, it is instant death for the entire raid. There's a lot of that going around right now. Miss a soak, instant death. Okay, like hit something with a mechanic that you shouldn't, instant death, right? Like fail a healing check, instant death. But yeah, those are actually sick pull, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like we're just getting there, getting more consistent, right? And that was a 56% pull, if I'm not mistaken, which is a very, very nice defense. Our damage looking very on point, by the way. Actually, very, very on point. Because we actually had a little bit of time left there. In our phase 2, and just kind of eyeballing it, looking at Echo. Echo, I think, got into phase 3. That that you can see that phase 3 starts at 55.5%. I think we could be going in a little bit lower than that, actually. Looking at how that damage was, and once we get that phase fully cleaned up. So I think Method DPS looking very, very hot right now. We love to see that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to see. So, with just looking at the leaderboard just a second there, so we have Liquid on the 19.4%. Is that because they might have phased? I mean, this is a question for you, and I guess for Chaz, but like, is it because they might have? Did they pump that much damage in phase 3? So did they have that much time in phase 3 playing that phase, or did they transition the boss a little bit lower than what we've done and what Echo have done? My question is trying to get a gauge of how much time Liquid have spent in that final phase, because that's good information for then our analysts and Biff also to kind of like review not just what might be going wrong for us, but also what is to come, because in these sort of like, what are we on now, 200 pulls. Biff won't be raid leading this first part. It will be raid led by somebody else in the team. So Biff and our analysts will be having that conversation later on. But yeah, I don't know whether or not you managed to see anything from Liquid.
I'm down. I can cook
No,
some.
but it seems like
Why are you here? Is this the?
I was there. I was there when it happened. The
Oh, you
God
were?
Bowl.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
I was watching, and it was just one of those. Everyone just locked in, kind of a miracle moment, and a huge deep push. And I think it's a great question that you bring up there. And well, I think, unless I was hallucinating, I think I do know the answer. They did see most of phase 3, right? It wasn't clean though. That's the thing. Like they were very much delving into territory that they hadn't seen before. So it wasn't a clean phase 3, but they did see almost all of it. So of course, like every time you only get 3 Dark Archangel casts, right? Every time the boss uses this Giga ability after the memory game, you use up some of your little shards, right, to avoid that massive hit, kind of similar to how Farak works, right? Back in Imidrisil. And of course, well, you only have a limited number of shards, and that's basically the hard enrage. Like once the groups kind of converge again, you've got a little playing area, a little teeny tiny playing area, a little cone left over, and then the timer is ticking down. And I believe the hard enrage is around 9 minutes and 35 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Someone in chat can probably verify that, confirm or deny that. But yeah, like that was a very, very good pull, but they definitely have a lot of damage optimization still to go because it wasn't clean. They were, still essentially in the learning process going there because they hadn't really been there before. That was a massive improvement to their best. So yeah, the damage is going to be very, very important. And yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Having that information, seeing what those timers look like, and seeing the DPS check is going to have our analysts hard at work figuring out exactly how to get that done.
Yeah,
It focuses.
Focus.
Good kicks.
It makes sense.
Divine
but no,
Right
I'm not too sure. Teapot would lie. We definitely did get 56% with the UI
we did.
updating, right?
Well, I think this was mentioned like right at the end of the last Carter shift, actually. Apparently, Warcraft logs is actually having a couple of issues right now. So I think none of the bests are updating as of right now, unfortunately. So yeah, it looks like we do have a little bit some technical issues, some tech issues right now. But don't worry, I'm sure they'll cook it up. So chat, don't panic. The leaderboards will return.
Yeah, we got you. So how are you finding this fight at the moment? Like, is it everything that you cooked? You wanted it to be. You were a final boss of the tier. Is it what you would like to see from a race to warfare standpoint, or are you a little bit disappointed? Because that seems to be a conversation that we've had throughout the entire duration of this raid, right? Is that Void's Fire and Dream Rift were just a little bit. Is it what you wanted it to be?
Honestly, yeah. Race towards first, I would have loved Illyria to be harder. Like that was like, I was really excited. I love that fight on Heroic because I can't wait to see how it is on Mythic. And I'm a really big believer in the design approach that Blizzard took. I love what they did with we're gonna hide the dungeon journal. We're gonna completely remix this fight. And I feel really bad actually for Blizzard because I really like what they did with it on Mythic, but it was just too easy, obviously. Like the guilds just completely trampled over it, which is a bit unfortunate. But in terms of the difficulty, it's definitely been delivered on when it comes to like Balrog, obviously, really, really rock hard fight. And now we see Lura as well, unbelievably brutal. So yeah, I would say we got there in the end. I wish Illyria was harder, but overall, I think we've got into a good position. I would say. Like I think just like yourself, I'm a tank enjoyer, so I would have loved it if Lura had a bit more. Was a bit spicier for the tanks. To be honest, like I think this is actually it's probably going to be one of the most or like least intensive tank end bosses that I've played. I think, unless I'm just cooked. Maybe Quep are now just so locked in, they're making it look easy. Okay, but like who knows? But yeah, it doesn't look to be super crazy. Like I think really I loved Demencius on tank because it was so engaging.
Yeah. I was literally just thinking that it gives me the Demencius kind of feel. But the thing with Demencius is like in P3 we did get that extra little pizzazz, that little spice of having to battle both Ammonia and the boss, and like having that equal. It wasn't like one was more important than the other. Like both hurt, and you had to make sure you communicated with your tank to swap it over, and it was like, yeah, I love any type of mechanic that requires me to communicate with my tank effectively, like the Paladin's fight, for example, with like figuring out I don't know about you, figuring out the judgment with my co-tank was so difficult. Because you had the judgment, and then you had the judgment and the shield from Bellamy, but then you also had like the bosses at 100% energy, so you had to get them away from the raid, and it was like a whole cake mix, Teapot. It was a lot.
Oh yeah, that is a great tank fun. I think really fun to do. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Like so easy to die there, and certainly when we were learning it, there was plenty of dying. Fortunately, I'm on the prot warrior, so even if it goes wrong, I don't die. Okay. So I'm fine. I'm good to go. Like the other guy, that guy's a noob. He just falls over. But yeah, for sure. Yeah, we have had. Oh, sorry, say again.
What's your co-tank play?
The bear is what's being employed right now. Yes, the bear. The bear and the Blood Death Knight when it is required. So yeah, it's the prot warrior and the bear. We are filthy meta chasers, I'm afraid. Okay, we love to role play. We just pretend we're in the race to worlds first. That's what we do.
I mean, don't knock it. If it works, it works.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is definitely really strong. Looking good. Bear looking good. You know, once again, you know, I think it is really sad to see that like VDH is a tank I really enjoy. I love playing it in keys, but it always struggles to kind of find its home in the raid, right? I feel like it just doesn't quite manage to show up in the race towards first. One day we'll see it.
Has it ever made a feature in the race towards first? Maybe like.
I believe at Castle Nathria, actually.
Castle Nathria, yeah.
I believe that's like, I think that's the only time it's been played, if I'm not mistaken. But well, maybe chat can tell us if it did get played another time. But I think that's the one time it's had its moment in the sun, moment of glory in the race towards first. But still, really fun tank. I think I'm a big VDH enjoyer. I think you are as well.
I am. I'm a one-trick pony with my VDH. So
very good.
When the raid tier list comes out and VDH is at the bottom, I'm like, well, sorry, guild, but it's what I'm playing. I'd love to try a different tank, but I think I can't give up that movement, that mobility that VDH gives is just. It's insane. It gets me out of ski points. I think it's great. It's a great beginner tank.
Holy fuck! I just
because all you have to do is essentially press one button to generate souls and another button to eat those souls. And occasionally, if you fancy it, once the button says 4, 5, or 6, you press the button to concede souls. And then you've got 3 defensives, and you just rotate them. And it's a simple tank to begin with, because if you do something wrong, if you get in the wrong place, or if someone pulls something they're not supposed to, yeah, there is. But if you're playing it at like the lower levels, it's like less spicy. But when you start climbing up those ranks and the damage kind of increases, yeah, there is death. There is certain death. And I do envy those of you that manage to play the better tanks. It feels like you live a lot longer than I do.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's just the way it goes, unfortunately. You know, it's the balance, it ebbs and flows in the game. Oh, and here we go into another pull. Speaking of which, here we go. Let's see, we've probably a little strategy talk, kind of talking about, because I think we died to the same overlap or a similar overlap a couple of times, so probably looking to iron that out, figure out what exactly we need to be doing in that phase 2. And that's, I think, a really good usage of time here at the end of the day, because that is one of those phases that doesn't really have variance to it, right? Because like phase 1, it's just like, okay, we died, we didn't dodge, go again. It's very like, you know, personal responsibility, bit of variance with where the glaives are going, right? Like, you know, crazy stuff can happen. But in phase 2, it theoretically should be the exact same every time. I think we've seen a couple of glimpses of the raid plan, but you have a hard assigned position for everyone, right, in the group, in that kind of circular arena. So everyone should be standing in the same spot every single time. Everyone's going to be soaking in the same spot every single time. Everyone's going to, who has the crystal is going to have it the same every single time. So that is the phase where we can become incredibly consistent. And of course, that's what we need, because we need to now get exposure to that brutal DPS check, and well, let's not even talk about the mechanics. There's also a lot of things we've got to learn about phase 3, but we want to get there as often as we possibly can. And so far, we've been doing a great job of our phase 1 consistency. We now need to replicate that with the phase 2 consistency.
Question that's been popping up in chat quite a lot, T-Pop, that I don't want to feel like I have to address it every single cast now, is we have a Havoc DH, which is interesting. Everyone else brought Double Devourer, the new shiny teacher's pet, I guess you could say. We've brought Havoc Demon Hunter. And I believe it is literally just because of the damage profile, because it's nice and bursty. And there's occasions here where we do need to get like the ads down, and that's why we burst it. But yeah, it is nice to see a little bit of a comp change. It always begs the question of why. But I believe it is just the damage comp. Correct me if I'm wrong, Teapot, but I think it is literally just damage.
Yeah, and we can kind of see that reflected in the boss HP percentages. Clearly working out well for Method. The damage. That isn't working out well for Method. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right there. It's just bringing us some massive damage, obliterating those ads, right? And of course, then pumping the boss simultaneously while doing that. And also, it is just, I think there is just like, oh yeah, Kush is just like absolutely sick on the Havoc as well, right? So if you've got an opportunity to use it, let's do it, right? At that point. At the same time. So I think that's kind of like the thought process going into this. And well, you know, we can see it's clearly working out as we have Kush pumping on those meters, competing even with the lofty hunters in this phase 1.
And it's crazy because going into this tier, the DPS raid tier list that were coming out was saying that Havoc is sort of middle of the pack / below average in terms of DPS output. But it just goes to show that you put the right player on the right spec and they can do some incredible things. I kind of pity the average player that looks at Havoc and looks at that damage done and is kind of like, oh, I can bring my Havoc DH, you know, maybe you're not enjoying Devourer. But that actually, now I say that also play what you want to play to an extent. Like if you are someone that's enjoying the content casually, as in you're not pushing Mythic and you're in that higher rank guild, just play what you want to play. If you enjoy Havoc Demon Hunter, you enjoy the movement, you enjoy the way it feels, it definitely is a little bit jarring being that new 30-yard like distance. You're not really in the pack with the range and you're not really with the melee. It's kind of like you can't sit with us either side, so it is a little jarring to kind of get used to. So if you do want to play Havoc, play Havoc. It doesn't matter if the tier list say that Havoc's in the bin. It doesn't matter if they say that DPS is really bad. Quite clearly, if you know how to play your spec, as Kush is demonstrating, it's viable. It's viable. And it is a very ADHD-friendly spec. Yeah, definitely. DHs in general really tickle that area. So if you enjoy it, play it, man.
Watch the glaive and beam prepping. Beams. Watch the many glaives around you.
Yeah, I guess that's my sentiment for BH Vengeance Demon Hunter as well.
Oh yeah, I mean that is just it's the perfect sentiment. It's correct in every possible sense because you know we talk a lot about like look at all these, look at this comp, they're all the same. What's going on here, Blizzard? Yeah. Well, the reality is it's because when you're in a race towards first scenario, if one spec is better by 3%, 2%, 1%, you're playing that spec, right? That you are getting every single bit of value. You know, for the rest of us, it really, really does not matter. Oh yeah, we just got executed by the termination matrix. I haven't seen that for a while, which is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, like unless you are going into these really early raid progression scenarios where you're pushing absolute bleeding edge keys, on your player skill is going to count way more than what spec you're playing.
Yeah. You touched on it earlier about playing the meta. It is also good to look at the meta because it's good to kind of if you're able to play multiple different classes or multiple different specs, and one of the specs that you can play is in the meta, then you can sit comfortably knowing that if you play as well as you can play, you are going to get a lot of use out of it. And you also win the pug game, i.e. you get invited to groups. So, I mean, the lists are to go by, but never to restrict you of what you can actually play. And yeah, I think Kush bringing the Havoc here is a really good example. Yes, the clever people and analysts dive into this data to give you a list, but they're not for you to stand by. They're just for you to kind of take guidance.
Okay. Getting focuses here.
I think it's. I mean, look, if you, I really like rerolling. I actively like rerolling. I want to learn new specs and play a bunch of different things. And you know, hey, if you want to do that, then looking at the meta is a pretty good way to do it, because often like different things are going to end up strong. So just like play whatever, right? Like play whatever's good, play whatever you think is new, or you look at has a really cool play style. It's always going to be a whole lot of fun as well. Yeah, of course. Like if you are looking to, you know, really optimize performance and you're comfortable rerolling, then yeah, helping your team is going to be. Yeah, if you can help your team out a lot by like re-rolling to whatever spec is super strong, and you kind of see that in the Race to Worlds First. I feel like our healers have been working overtime, right, throughout this Race to Worlds First, like re-rolling to a whole bunch of different things, right? Because we, you know, all of a sudden we're seeing Resto Druid here on this encounter, which wasn't something that popped up a super big amount up until now, but you know we've seen all sorts of stuff. You've got the Mistweaver in the mix, of course, that was also a little bit of a surprise, I think. The Disc Priest all over the place, right? And now, of course, the Resto Druid.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that about our healers rerolling. I'm actually curious to see what we rolled and when. So give me a couple minutes. I'm going to bring it up on Raider.io, one of our lovely partners for the Race World First. And I'm actually going to go and check out to see what our comps were per boss kill.
Well, boss arranged.
Let's have a look.
Examine.
New ones.
Yeah, just have a little look. See, one of the benefits of us being at home is that we do have access to our computers. We're not able to really do this type of stuff when we're on the couch. Benefit of being on the couch is that we get to see our lovely co-casters. But benefits of being at home is that we have this information.
Playing like this.
As and when.
Bell bouncer coming close.
Let's have a look.
Left watch.
I'm waiting. The suspense. The suspense is big right now.
Watch them. Okay, getting focuses.
It might be worth you maybe walk through this boss real quick while I just try and pull this information, because I'm definitely not having trouble trying to find it. I've got it. Okay. No, yeah. Walk through the boss, if you want, if that's all right, and then we'll come back and talk about it when they.
All right, let's do it. Okay, then, so we have this memory game, and this is the really scary one, because look at these glaives, some really fast feet here from Bill on the Devourer, dodging that. We do have a couple of these soaks to do. We are able to successfully do them, though, and we are going to get into phase 2. And yeah, look, chat, imagine if those glaives were like twice as fast, okay? That is the living hell that the Raiders were experiencing yesterday. And now we have this, I guess I'd call it kind of a Kaiveza style intermission almost, right? We've got these AoEs going out, and yeah, we have this. I love mechanics like this. I'm a big fan of stuff like this, where you have to drop something, do a mechanic, and then pick it up again. And we have a great perspective of this on the Devourer here from.
2, 1, shooting. 1, 2, 1. Shooting.
Bill, because of course he's got this shard. You don't want to take damage while you have this shard, or soaks are going to spawn, which is bad. You can see at the end, everyone gets it. And look, drops the shard, picks it up again, and there we go. That's a very clean transition into this phase 2. Let's see if we can get to phase 3. We've been so unbelievably close. I really want to see the team push that so we can start getting some exposure, because there's a different memory game to learn, by the way. It's a little bit reminiscent of Star Augur, as I understand it. I didn't play that boss, so I don't know for sure, but that's what people tell me. But here we go into phase 2, and yeah, this is where the healer fight memes are going to start kicking in, because those healers are going to have to be working overtime to keep everyone alive. They do it so far on that first soak overlap. Here come the planetary, the core suck, as it's being so elegantly described, or eloquently, I suppose, have been described in the reminders that we have here. Next set of beams coming up now. The health is looking pretty good here, actually. Everyone's very, very stable. So I'm feeling good about this so far, but we're not out of the woods yet. Now we have to do the next set of spreads, dropping the shards in the middle, getting to our positions. That's looking very good. And now just one more time, and we can get to phase 3. Can we survive this? Tanks taking a beating, the Blood Death Knight surviving the Heaven's Lance. The healers get everyone stable for that second massive burst of damage. And this is the final set. Can we do it?
And I'm in between the markers.
In position. Shards are dropped. We do it. Here come the next set. The spreads are about to activate. This is where we've been dying. Can we make it through? That looks good to me. We do make it. We have a death, but that's fine. We do probably have a battle res. Where is it on this UI? I don't know. We do. There we go. Gloom is back up. Everyone alive. That's going to be at phase 3 at a fantastic phase transfer percentage, by the way. We should be getting below 55% maybe as we go directly into phase 3. There we go. And this is really hard. We've got to catch all of these. If any of them hit the floor, it's going to be death. And well, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So difficult, that transition, man, because it's not as if like everyone's getting shot out in the one specific area. Everyone gets shot out in different areas of the arena, and you just have to hope and pray that 1, you're topped up, and 2, you have a healer next to you. And 9 times out of 10, no. And this is what I meant, is that like, do we need to have a conversation about defensives? Do we need a conversation about like where to move pots and stones if we're not already using them? We just have to make sure that the entire raid is topped up by that point of ejection, otherwise it's game over. And it's spicy for the healers. I do now finally, took my time, have the healer comp up. So are you curious to see how much we've swapped our healer comp over this raid? Because it's a lot. It's a lot.
Let's do it.
All right, so we begin with Chimeras. We had Thana, Royban, and Whippy. Thana on the Paladin, Royban on the Resto Druid, which we're again seeing here, and Whippy on the Priest. Then Thana swaps to Mistweaver. Royban also swaps to Mistweaver, and Zalia comes in, replacing Whippy on the Disc Priest. Zalia stays in with the Disc Priest for Veracius. Royban and Thana staying on Mistweaver. So a duplicate comp, just swapping out Whippy and Zalia between Imperator and Veracius. Then, Saladar.
Did you try to go
we
on
have
the same as me?
the exact same comp
we can currently not pull.
with the Royban, Thana, and Zalia.
I'm having issues.
The exact same comp again with Veilgor and Azarak. The exact same comp again with the Vanguard. The exact same comp again with Crown of Cosmos. But then this is where we change it. Valoran. We replace Royban with the Mistweaver, and we bring in Whippy again on that Disc Priest. So we rocked a double Disc Priest with the Mistweaver for Valoran, and now we're bringing in the 2 Resto Druids and the Mistweaver and the Disc Priest. So it's kind of been an amalgamation of our raid comp that we had a solid healer comp with the Disc Priest and the 2 Mistweavers, but then earlier on we saw the Holy Pally from Thana. That's not made a return, unfortunately. Maybe Bubble would be useful here. Maybe not. The only time that we saw Resto Druid was at the very beginning, and now Resto Druid is back.
We're
Double
back.
Action. Yeah. So it's interesting how, you know, they twist and turn the comps to kind of like fit with the bosses, to see what is useful and what is not. But yeah, the tree's working overtime with this comp, with this raid, 110%. It's really good to see.
It absolutely is, and that's just what that druid is providing. We're just getting constant heals going out, because it's just, there's so much damage happening so frequently. You just need to have that constant throughput that the tree is able to deliver to you. Of course, also helping us out with the druid buff, right? Like, of course, slightly less relevant because we've got 2 of them, but we see that Liquid's only running 1, and that's because there's no other source of that ever so important Mark of the Wild. And of course, the Resto Druid can bring that over here as well. But yeah, putting in a lot of work. And yeah, you can see the healers. The healers have been, you know, swapping around quite a bit there. You know, basically everything except Resto Shaman, like seeing play, like H-Pal not so much as well, obviously. But all the other healers getting some good value out of there, right? Getting some good value out of having those characters geared up.
Yeah.
And here we are on the finale.
Yeah, indeed. Tank swaps as well. We've seen a handful of a little bit of everything all of the time. except for BDH, sadly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's been pretty consistent. Like the Prot Warrior has been like the anchor, right? We've seen that pretty much all over the place.
Yeah.
And then it's just been between the Bear or the Blood DK, depending on what utility we feel like we need. Like here, grips are just amazing, right? So having these 3 Death Knights, we've got the double Unholy and the Blood Death Knight of now to really make sure that we handle those adds as effectively as we possibly can. So yeah, the Death Knight putting in some serious work here. But other times when you perhaps don't need that utility as much, the Bear has been incredible, providing that Druid buff and also having really solid damage output.
We did surprisingly see Brew make an appearance this tier on Chimeras. He was quite that did Brew. Why? It just seemed it seemed like a I don't know. Yeah.
I think it's because it does really good damage, right? And that's always something that I think Race World's first skills and just the player base in general is kind of looking for. I think what's interesting is that Brewmasters, well, like the utility is fairly mediocre, I think, a lot of the time. And weirdly enough, it's seen as a tank that has been incredibly durable, I feel like. But in this expansion, I don't know. It hasn't actually delivered in terms of its survivability nearly as much. It's very, very robust in Mythic Plus. It does super well there. But in Raid, it's struggling a little bit, in my opinion, because you have a lot of these kind of frequent magic damage tank busters that are coming through. And it doesn't really have the best tools to deal with that anymore. Like a lot of its big major defensives, like Dampen Harm, Diffuse Magic, of course, they've gone the way of the dodo. They're gone. They don't exist. So yeah, like Brewmaster, I think not quite as robust as it used to be. And I think that's like a big reason why it hasn't showed up as much. And also with Mistweaver being good, and even Windwalker, of course, on Belren, you don't really need that Mystic Touch, right? So you can afford to bring in other tanks that provide other raid buffs, are more survivable, or bring more utility to the group. So yeah, Brew, I think, not seeing a huge amount of play. I think we saw Echo experiment with it a little bit on Belren before going back to the Blood Death Knight.
Yes.
As well, I think. But yeah, Brew probably showed up a little bit early in the tier. People were messing around with it, seeing how much damage it can do, especially with the Bear nerfs, right? Because like initially, Bear was like it was a DPS.
Good night.
Okay, it was the glorious.
We're not killing this in the next 2 hours,
right? Like doing more DPS. I enjoyed that so much. I was bullying. I was on voice. I was saying, "What are you guys doing?"
You're trolling.
Give me the PI. Stop giving it to the Windwalker. I am destroying you noobs. And then I got nerfed.
Wake up,
then I got nerfed again, and it's still kind of pumping, right? As well, but yeah, that's
definitely.
I don't know. We know. Boss dies tomorrow. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe Blizzard hits it up for 5% nerfs, so we can always make it to that in face.
In the dirt.
I don't know what they're gonna do.
Next patch though, on reset, you're getting juiced.
Am I?
But making it to that making it to secret phase is
there's some increase. You're getting more damage on focused cleaves when you're blasting your primary target with soul cleaves. You're gonna get more damage. Soul carver damage, I think, is going up by 50% as well. So yeah, there's some good buffs, I think, for VDH. Although mostly to its damage output, which is a little bit weird, because I feel like kind of the issue with some of the tanks is almost like survivability discrepancies, to be honest. But yeah, some pretty solid damage buffs at the very least. Let me go and actually see exactly.
We're starting at 9 in the morning.
Okay, so it sounds then like
it's a
sounds
joke
like I
for the
can
day.
somewhat
we're
rival
going to
my
bed for 8
content
hours
then if I can manage to make up the eye level discrepancy between us magically. Anyone want to funnel me any
8 hours from now. 8 hours from now.
Recharging on Battle.net.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for following. I appreciate everyone. I'm gonna go hit the bed.
And you gotta get the trinkets as well, right? You gotta get the trinkets. It's time.
I'll show you guys a picture of something tomorrow. My mom sent
but
me
I
a
don't
pretty
want to
cool
replace
picture
them
and a video.
I got
really
the
good one.
I'll show you guys that tomorrow.
And
peace.
Something else that gives me a shield, and I can't remember. They're both champ, and then my rings are also champ, but they're the Oculation of Light or the Oculation of Light, Oculation of Void. Take your pick. The rings
you got
that
the
work
set?
together. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I love it when they add stuff like that. Actually, I love that stuff. Because obviously we have our main tier set, which is cool. But I really have enjoyed that there's a couple of these little mini sets from the M+ dungeon pool as well. I think that's so I love that. It's so fun. So excited to get those drops and like connect those items together. Huge fan of that. Well, actually, I hate it because I have done 70 keys now, and it took me 70 keys to get a single ring I could use. I am not joking. I was like, oh, congratulations.
What were you running?
Yeah, all my other pugs. Oh, congrats, guys. Like, you're getting your ring. Oh, well done. Okay, and I fight like, well, look, I'll tell you what. I still haven't got the ring from Seed of the Triumvirate. I've done 29 runs of Seed of the Triumvirate, and I don't have it, okay? It doesn't feel good. The only reason I have the ring from Nexus Point is because I begged the shaman to trade it to me, and he already had it, so he traded it. I didn't even drop it. I didn't drop the ring. I didn't get it. It was someone else, and I had to yoink it, right, from the shaman. To be fair, they had already dropped it in literally the previous run, because we did a couple of runs back to back, so like that's fair enough, obviously. But yeah, it's, I've had a rough one with M+ so far this season. I will admit that.
I feel bad for you. You just need to play the game on the streamer client. Like, do you not have it? I can give it to you.
I wish I had the streamer client. Goodness me, I wish I had it.
Oh, that's so unlucky, dude. I'm so sorry. It always sucks when you don't get like the drop fee. Literally last night, right? I was doing a run with my guildies. We did a +10, and I needed to replace my champ necklace. A hero necklace drops. Brilliant. Haste first, my stats great. Put it on. But I made the mistake of not trading it to the other off tank that I was with. Oof, got some bites there. But I made the mistake of not trading it to him. And the next dungeon we were doing was Seat of Triumvirate, and that drops my bis neck. And I had a voice in my head that was like, trade it to the off tank, your bis neck's gonna drop. And I was like, no, I'm having it, I'm keeping it. I put it on, walk into Seat of Triumvirate. What drops at the end of the dungeon?
Oh no.
With Leech.
With Leech, that disaster.
Yeah.
Disaster.
Yeah, and they couldn't trade the off tank. It went on the off tank. The off tank couldn't trade it.
And you're not seeing that now for another 20 keys.
I
Enjoy.
know.
Yeah, it's not coming back. It's gone now. It's it no longer exists. Yeah, that's. I mean, you hate to see it. You really, you hate to see it.
You do. But I do have the rings, so I can't complain. One of which was in my vault, so that's the benefit, I guess, of the vault is that I didn't take it. Because there was another option. I could have had like a hero tier piece, or like just took it in and did it. But I had one of the rings in my vault, and I kept it literally until I believe it was like Monday night, which some may call me a heathen for choosing that late. But I needed a run Nexus Point to see if it would drop. The ring did drop, and it was the opposite one to the one that was in my vault. So I took the one in my vault. Simple, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great having the sets, but also I'm now stuck with the champ rings until I highball and manage to get the hero versions of it. So
yeah, I mean, targeting a specific item or even like a specific, it feels so brutal. Or well, I don't know, it's felt really brutal to me. I don't know why. I guess I've been lucky a lot of the time in M+ in previous seasons, but this was just the time where the game was just showing me no mercy, right? It has just been brutal. Like, again, I've done nearly 30 seats, haven't got the ring yet. I haven't got the gloves either. I need the gloves from there, but that's just a complete fiction. It's actually, like, it's brutal. Like, my main has just been having a really, really rough time. I'm actually basically the same eye level on my alt as I am on my main, because my alt just got way luckier with a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it is not a good time, yeah. Like I'm looking at the trinkets I have on my alt. Like, wow, I actually have bis trinkets on my alt. I have kind of mediocre ones on my main, but look, you got to do what you got to do. Like I have to be there. I've got to lock in and just eventually get. Look, I'm getting a big vault. Okay, I am getting good karma actually. Okay, look, this is a twisty tale. Okay, so I created I was so desperate to get plate legs because I also didn't have those. Yeah. I created a Paladin's run, a pug on heroic, if you will. Okay. Yeah. And I just blocked everyone who was plate who applied. Nope, you're not getting in. Okay, full cloth leather male. I am getting these if they drop. Okay. Yeah. Classic scenario as you do. Okay. And obviously I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to do Illyria, right? Like whatever. We're gonna ditch after that. And then one of the pugs just melts my frozen loot deprived heart. okay? Because they put down consumes, they put a cauldron down for the entire raid, for the pots, and the the potions and the elixirs, the files, whatever. And like the pug is like super excited. Oh wow, let's get curve for everyone. This is so hype. I love this. I was like, okay, well I can't leave now.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I can't leave now, right? And actually, everyone locked in, and a little bit of raiding. I was typing in all caps in the raid warning channel, right, to explain to people what to do. Okay, I forced I said, guild in here now. We're helping these guys get curve. We're locking in. Come on. Right, and we actually did it. Well, I was really impressed. The pugs owned, actually. They were owning. We actually got it down in like 3 tries. So I was really impressed by how well people played.
Oh, that's so sweet of you, man. You can tell a lot about somebody's cadence and personality and morals by how they treat the pugs. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Oh, that's really sweet. But did you get the legs?
I did, actually. So good karma, right?
Congratulations. Yes.
I did get the legs. Yeah.
Well, all's well that ends well. That's good. Good job. Good job. See, you're gonna have like insane loot luck now. Karma your way 110%.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. That's what I was spamming in guild chat. I was saying, right, look, all of you are joining now, so we have good karma and we get good loot from the vault and from our reclear. Right? Yeah. Get in now. Join. And they did. I think it was actually a very wholesome experience, actually, because obviously I'd killed the boss on heroic before, but it was honestly awesome. I do love pugging. Actually, it's something that I do quite a bit, like when I'm not in the main raid, obviously. And it was just so awesome to see how excited everyone was to get the achievement and to get the loot and to progress that fight on heroic. It was really, really fun. I actually do recommend it. Okay, I recommend getting in there, doing a couple of pugs, especially as the fight becomes a bit more accessible, as people get more gear and learn the strats and stuff. It was really fun. Very wholesome moments.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Pug moments can be beautiful. They can be stressful, annoying, difficult, but you can also have some really beautiful moments. Speaking of beautiful moments, Teapot,
I like that.
What have we got on the screen? We've got some P2-ish sort of soon TM action happening.
Yeah.
Soon.
And as long as we survive this, I think we are okay. We do have a healer down, hard to res now. So yeah, that's probably not going to be res for us. We've got to really hold on until we can get the combat res when we go in there. But again, this is another UI where I just don't see the combat res. To be fair, you don't have it on Rogue. But like, do we actually have one? Can anyone see where it is on the screen? If it's on the screen, because I think we really need that heal. Otherwise, this phase 2 is going to be so difficult. Can we get this combat res?
See, the only downside with us losing the private auras is that we're no longer able to have a UI that tracks the boss health, because I've seen that in chat, a call to change the UI. Unfortunately, we don't have that information anymore. Oh, AJ dropping so low. The healers got it. That's okay. Right. Speaking of good UIs, Royburn, we should be able to see everything on her screen. Thana still down. Battle res in 5 seconds. Gotta get Thana up.
If we can actually, this is recoverable. If we can survive this overlap and get that healer back up and start pumping, we actually have it. Okay, everyone's still up. This is recoverable. We've got to try and stabilize now. Very steely-eyed determination for the Raven. Oh no, just couldn't stabilize in time. And we do end up losing a lot of players here, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's about momentum, right? As soon as those player frames start chunking down, it is really hard to get them back up, especially with a healer down, because there's constant damage coming out to the raid, and it's hard. It's really, really hard. Ideally, we wouldn't have a healer down coming into this phase, but that's okay. We learn, we live, we move, we go again, and exactly what these pools are for. Yeah, we reset and we go again. It's super unfortunate. But so I quickly touched on it. We have lost access to a lot of really cool information for our L frame on the broadcast. We used to have Bloodlust, we used to have battle res indicators, we had boss health, we even had a really cool widget that showed us how close to our our current best we were. So that was really cool to see. But now what we have is I mean, what we have is fine. Just have to do a little bit of squinting and play the game of where did you put it, Raider? Where is the encounter timer?
Where is it?
Where is the battle res icon? Where did you put it?
Yeah, I guess I'd be curious to see the technique that's being. Maybe it's only possible if you're in studio then, because I think that some of those features do still work. Because I've seen them on some of the other broadcasts. But maybe that's because it might be necessary to perhaps be in studio for whatever reason to actually kind of get that information. It might be very difficult to potentially obtain it. Otherwise, you'd have to have someone running a program, I guess, that would be then sending the information to production. I don't know exactly. I don't know the details. I'm no expert on these things.
So that is kind of how it worked in anyway. Like before, like we had the software that the method tool you download, and that's what they did to push like the weak auras, and that's the way that data was pulled. And so when the raiders were in Elite Camp, there was a software that they had to load up, and it was very funny actually, because a lot of the raiders, they were very naughty, and they had specific instructions not to restart their computer unless they had to tell tech, and Elite Camp tech would come over and help them with it. And they weren't allowed to change some odd settings on the PC either, but raiders did what raiders do, and they just changed everything. And there was quite a lot of time where the tools would break because they were just changing settings that they weren't supposed to touch, to the anguish of Marius.
Classic moment.
So Marius, I feel like I'm doing him a disservice by calling him the tech person. Marius, guys, he is the brains behind the Elite Camp production. Like, he is the one that sets it all up. He runs everything alongside his helpers, of course. Would be a disservice not to mention them. But Marius is the guy. Like, if you needed him at Elite Camp, he was there. You needed help with a bug on your computer, he was there. Internet's down, he was there. Need an Ethernet cable, he was there. He's a really, really cool guy, and he's asset to the Method production team. But yeah, the tools would break, but the idea is that the tool is what would feed the information to the broadcast, so they were able to put that on the screen. But then you go and look at Echo's stream, and they have the B-res, they have the Bloodlust icon. So how have they managed to do it? There's some tech going on there that we still have access to.
The hidden technology.
The hidden tech, as usual.
That must be some way to still obtain some useful information that we can use for the broadcast. And who knows? Perhaps, look, if you just lock in the world's first here for Method, perhaps we will at some point return to the real life, return to the studio. Okay, at some point. That'll be really exciting. I've never done anything like that.
Have you
myself. Yeah. No, I have not. You know, it's okay. This is another brutal story. Oh my goodness. Okay, right. And I'll see if you can guess. I actually was planning on running a tournament back in the other game I played, which is Guild Wars 2, right? And it was going to be a tournament, and we actually were going to have casters come and do it in person, kind of where I'm at. Funnily enough, I was going to like rig up basically my room into like a scuffed like studio kind of thing. Yeah. And can you guess what happened right as we were setting that up?
Your internet went?
No.
Oh.
It's quite a while in the past. Think global travel. What could possibly go wrong?
COVID?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no!
So that didn't end up happening, obviously. But yeah, little bit unlucky with that. But one day I'll manage to make it happen. It will be a good time because I mean I love that stuff. This is what I really do enjoy the most in the whole world. Actually, is what we're doing now. Event production, like in esports, right? I think it's amazing. I love all the little gadgets and gizmos that we do to make it more watchable to the viewers, like meeting all the commentators and casters like yourself, of course. It's absolutely amazing, and I love this stuff. I love competitive gaming. Yeah. So one day we'll make it happen.
Oh, I do really hope that we return back to Elite Camp to cast, because it is a brilliant experience. Like, just not just like the actual casting itself, but also like being able to mingle with the raiders. Oh, caught by a glaive there, Royven. Ouchies. But yeah, like during their downtime where they get like lunchtime, for example, we're able to like, it's just really cool to just chill with the raiders and have like lunch with them, check in on them. just hear the conversations that are happening, hear them laughing about moments that I see on cast, and then they're like bringing it up, and they're like, oh yeah, well, like, and you just took a glaive to the face, like, what were you doing, man? And it's so nice, because it really reminds you that these people are doing this because they are so passionate about World of Warcraft, and like they're doing it because they really, really want to do it, and they're having a good time doing it as well. And that's what you miss being at home. You don't get to see that. You don't get to be sitting on the couch and then you have, I don't know, Wildy walking across the studio and he's got like some downtime, so he comes to sit on the sofa and we have a chat with him. We don't get the end of tier chat where we have all the raiders, as many as we can fit on the sofa, and we can grill them. It's, yeah, we don't get that, which is a little bit of a shame. So fingers crossed we can go back at some point. Yeah, definitely a different atmosphere for sure. Plus, also Elite Camp is great. Like, Elite Camp is if you guys don't know already, I don't want to bang on like a broken record, but Elite Camp is a gaming facility where you can go as the general public, either by yourself with some friends, or they have a facility for up to 20 plus people to take your entire guild. So your entire guild can go and visit this place for a weekend and just go raid out. And they have accommodation, they've got the food, they've got the food, Nate, they've got the restaurant on site, and yeah, it's so cool. It's like staying over at somebody's house, but that person's house is filled with some of the best World of Warcraft players in the world. It's so sick. It's so sick. So yeah, I hope we return, T-Far, and I hope you get to experience it, because it is wicked. It's really, really nice.
Wicked, I think, is the perfect word for it. A little break as we kind of recap. Right, bit of an unfortunate wipe there. Right, just had a couple of deaths and couldn't quite restabilize. I think also just an orb ultimately went off. A tier of Laura was compromised. You can see it's a brutal debuff, right? Like they want to make sure that there was absolutely no way that you could cheese that mechanic. So if you do mess up with that, it gives you a debuff for 10 minutes that makes you take 500% extra damage. Like, I don't think that's... don't think you're going to live that. I don't think if you don't end up catching that soak. A little bit unlucky.
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
It's a good one. The destruction of a Dawn Crystal induces utter despair, inflicting 372,000 holy damage and increasing all damage taken by 500%. Try out-healing that one, healers.
Yeah, that's like that's a no-bueno right there. I don't think they're gonna be able to out-heal that. Oof.
Wait, okay, this is weird because I feel like we've had this. I've been talking to you at the same time as someone was asking this question in chat, and then you answered it, and I've forgotten what you said. Because there is someone once again asking about some kind of bee themed humor going on right now. Like what is this?
It's not a joke, and like they bring it up every time. I'm really into bee conservation, Teapot. Like I love bees. I feel like bees are part. Yeah, bees are a core part of our like bioeconomy. It's important, and so I actually have a beehive in my back garden. Really big into bee conservation. Actually, when I set it up, I went to my local beekeeper and I asked him for a dozen bees, because you have to like slowly introduce them. So he gave me the bees. I went back to my house. I put them in their beehive, but I had an issue, and the issue was that when I was counting it, I had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 13. I had an extra bee, and that's not good. That's not good. It's just not good. So I went back to the beekeeper and I said, hey, you gave me 13 bees and I only asked for 12. And he said, yeah, thought I'd give you a freebie.
That's pretty good. Okay, wait, so you just say you baited me. I was getting suspicious when you said, wait, you only got 12 bees? Like, what? I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. You've got a beehive? That's sick. I'm hyped about that. By the way, I got 12 bees? Like, wait, what are we, that sounds like a very low amount. Like, that's not that many.
You'd be surprised the amount of people that don't ever question that part. Yeah. They're fully locked in. They're like, yeah, the bees? So what happened to the bees? And I'm like, darling, no, it's a joke. And they're like, what do you mean? So you don't like the bees? I'm like, no. It At this point, I think it's a 4-year-old running joke that gets told every single race to World First, and I was trying to avoid it. I didn't want to have to tell you, but there you go, chat. I did it.
You failed. You failed to avoid it. It is. It's locked in now.
I hope you're satisfied now. But yeah, I've told it to everyone. I've told it to all of the casters that we've had. I've told it to Sko. I've told it to Preach. I've told it to Noble. I've told it to Josh Strife Hayes, if you know that guy. There's lots and lots of creators have unfortunately witnessed my B joke, and now you are one of the Hall of Fame.
It's pretty good. Yeah, first 200. First 200 people to be told this joke. Feels good. I mean, it's a pretty good one. Like, you know, yeah.
I can't take credit for it. It was actually from my mum. So it's actually got a really, really sweet story. My mum, she's so sweet. She's a little 5-foot gal. Sweet as hell. Doesn't crack jokes, but this one time I was visiting and I was really, really sick. And I was laying in my bed and she, out of nowhere, comes out with that joke. And I'm like, Mom? You're funny? And then so, because it gave me so much joy, I decided to tell it to everyone. And everyone that I managed to get with it, I tell her. And she's just really happy. But bless her, she's forgotten that she's told me that she was the one who told me originally. So I have to remind her each time.
Yeah. Well, you can take the credit. Yeah, that's another thing. You could absorb. But yeah, that is a good one. Honestly, laughter is the best medicine, as long as you actually have medicine as well, to be honest.
Yeah, true. Yeah, definitely. People, I keep seeing as well, people in chat keep asking, who are we? I'm Bangers, and this is Perk, ! Cast.
True.
No, this is my teapot to my right, and I am Rage Darling. Both of us are content creators. And we have a massive love for World of Warcraft, so this is why we're here showing.
It's alright. Game's alright.
Yeah, you are a Guild Wars 2 fan.
Yeah.
I did try Guild Wars 2. I made a video out of it. It was like a new player experience of Guild Wars 2, and I gotta be honest, they do a good job. They do a good job.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Pretty good game.
Yeah, pretty good
I'm
game.
an enjoyer. Big fan. It's good. But yeah, no, I mean, like, obviously, it's good to play. It's good to have some variety, to be honest. There's a lot of good games out there. Like, you know, you definitely want to try them all. And yeah, WoW looking very good right now, but unfortunately, Lura looking a little bit better. Like, as we're dead.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that was a memory game gone wrong in one of the phases, because for those of you who are just joining us, or you may still have a little bit of a question about this memory game. So essentially, the raid is split into 4 different rounds. 4 different rounds?
It's 3, isn't it?
3 different rounds. Yeah, I'm gonna say 4. 3 different rounds. So 5 players in each round, and each of these rounds get shown a shape in a specific order. So there's 5 slots, 5 shapes. Sometimes there's duplicate shapes as well, but one round does not see all of the shapes. They don't see the whole pattern. So between all 3 rounds, they kind of need to piece this pattern together. Not only that, but they need to order themselves correctly. And if one person in one realm is not ordered correctly, boom, raid wipe. Instant no-no. Punished straight away. And it was something that we were kind of trying to get over yesterday. Thankfully now, I don't think it's a cause for any of our wipes, aside from that one that we just saw. Very few wipes. It's not our issue, was what I'm trying to say, but it is a lot to get down initially.
Yeah.
They seem to have nailed it now.
Very much so. It's very fast, and just that incompleteness of the information makes it so much harder to memorize. Like, if you're shown those shapes in order and you can see all of them, I think it's much easier to kind of parse that in your head and go, okay, I kind of understand what's going on there. But because of the incompleteness of the information, like, that's why we're seeing the add-on kind of coming into play there to make it so we can actually process that information quick enough to be able to actually do it. And yeah, as you say, like, we kind of got it down right now. Like, what's typically causing problems is like the intersection of that mechanic with the other mechanics. It's WoW 101, right? When it comes to making things difficult. Like, you have a mechanic that on paper, oh look, you just go in order, that's not that hard. But then you've got to deal with having to do rotation, and you've also got the glaives coming at you, and those glaives were just truly demonic early on in progression, and even now, after a fairly significant nerf, they're certainly no slouch. They will get you when you least expect it, I think. They'll just sneak up on you and take you out. So like that's when the difficulty really kicks in there. But yeah, like, we do see a couple of these wipes here in phase 1, and that's just like the nature of it, just showing you that this phase is still very difficult, to be honest. It's not, we've talked about how it's been nerfed, but it ain't easy, right? Like, there's a reason why we're still having some problems here with kind of grinding out the consistency, but it's very important to do. Like, the more consistent we can get our phase 1, the more consistently we can get into phase 2. That means we can progress and get that phase 2 locked down, and then we can get to that ever important phase 3 transition. And look, I don't want to overhype the chat here, because again, it's going to be potentially fairly unpredictable when this starts happening, but I really do believe that once we get a couple of exposures to that phase 3 transition and we start to get it down, I think we're going to see that boss HP drop quite significantly, because phase 3 mechanics, from what I've seen so far, they are manageable, right? Like, the memory game doesn't have incomplete information. You just have to bonk into people in the correct order with a matching symbol to you, which for these raiders I think will be not too bad. And then it's just a case of don't get hit by the death beams from the constellations, which is easier said than done, obviously. But I actually think we'll see big progress. If we get a clean transition to P3, we're going to see that boss HP go down big time.
Yeah, that'd be really great. So with the do the glaives make a return in P3?
There are no glaives.
Oh, yay, okay, that's good.
Yeah, so
that's
yeah. And that's like a really important thing, because, it's not immediate. Well, I guess it is kind of immediately obvious, actually. I suppose I was going to say it's not immediately obvious that the glaives being kind of random is really hard, but actually, I think it kind of is. Because the issue with these glaives is that they are unpredictable. Like, one of the reasons why our raiders dominated Illyria in the way that they did was because the fight is quite deterministic, right? Like, it's going to be like the same thing is happening. Like, you can plan ahead for all of it. The reason why this phase 1 here is so devilish and fiendish and diabolical is because you can't plan for, you can't really hard assign your positions at all. Right, well, you can a little bit, but you have to react. Like, almost every phase 1 ends up being a little bit different, and that's just so hard to deal with. Like, the Race to World's first players, if you give them a right, this is going to be the same thing every time, these players will learn that and perfect that in a way that you couldn't believe how fast they can do it. But when you have that volatility, it just makes it so much harder to be consistent. And actually, I've been talking a lot. Like, what do you make of this phase 2? We're potentially on a big one, yeah?
I know. It's looking really, really good. I'm trying. It is unfortunate that half of our player frames is cut off. Yeah. I'm not sure if production can maybe switch to a Royman POV or a Wildy. Thank you so much. Yeah, there we go. Now we can actually see the player frames. Looking really healthy going into this phase, which is always really good. This visually stunning phase that we have, I think is absolutely brilliant. Players will be targeted with these beams, and they need to align these beams with the planets, I guess you could call them. Not sure if they have an official name, but you have to line them up for a time, but they have to position and destroy them according to a like a suck that's coming in. I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong, Teapot, but this is the phase with the
yeah, that's right. You hit the planets or the orbs or whatever we want to call them, and they come crashing into the boss after that. So you can see here we are, we're trying to line up these beams with those planets. You actually have a bit of leeway on them, but there we go. We get the hits, and then in a moment we're gonna have this big burst of damage. Of course, we have to play this spread, and then we're gonna have to go back in there, grab those orbs as quickly as we possibly can. This is massive. We need to stabilize though. The healers need to get everyone nice and top going into this final burst of damage, and then into phase 3. This is actually looking very, very good. Here comes the big meltdown. Here comes the big push. Can we catch these orbs after this spread? Everyone's alive, but now we've got to get healed up. We've got to catch these soaks. Are we going to manage it? Oh, man, it's so hard. It is so difficult to do that.
It is, yeah, it is. It's difficult. It is. Sorry, like you said, we have to make sure that everyone is top before they exit. the phase 2 because they're dealing with a lot of damage when they land, and not just dealing with a lot of damage, but they also have to make sure that they catch those soaks. So in case you missed it, on the floor there are yellow circles, quite small, and it just takes one player to take one of them, but they're the shattered crystals, I believe, or they're the tears of Lura, so they have to catch them. If they don't catch them, it's a wipe. But not only that, it also deals damage, so, and you're also getting ticking damage as well, so if you're not top, then you're ejecting out that phase, you're just dying. It's so difficult, but it is one of those things where like I said, like, is it a case of, we saw one of the breaks earlier, there was a 5-minute break and then a 10-minute break, like, are they discussing defensives? Are they moving any defensives or any healer cooldowns from that phase and putting it into the transition? Because we can play with that now. We've done P1, and as much as it is a dance, but also unpredictable with the glaives, they've somewhat mastered it. So they can move things around, they can move cooldowns, they can move healing outputs. But yeah, that was a new best, 53.8%. Wow, Warcraft logs seeming like it's communicating with the API now, which is great. So we see a little bit of an update, and yeah, putting us into 2nd place on the leaderboard.
Well, chat is saying that Echoes had a 42, so there might still be some kind of shenanigans going on there. I trust the chat. The chat would never lie to us.
The chat is omnipresent. Yeah.
Yeah, they are hyper intelligent. Okay, they would never give us misleading information. Okay, but yeah, so like we're still doing really well. I will say our damage is looking really on point, by the way. Like that 53% phase transition is looking really, really nice. Obviously, we're going to continue to optimize that as we proceed through progression. And look, I really just want to say it's really getting so close there. I do really want to emphasize how if we can just nail that transition, we can go deep, I think, because again, the raiders will already know what to do in phase 3, right? Like they'll have already had the strat to, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what you need to do. This is how this mechanic works. This is the plan for this mechanic, all that kind of stuff. If we can just live a little bit longer, just a couple of seconds longer, and just be more topped, get in those soaks, then we can actually make some serious progress there. But it's so difficult. Like, you know, one thing I want to highlight is you're kind of getting disorientated, right? Like when you get thrown out of the boss room and you just have such a short time to figure out where you are and then go, right, now I need to get in that soak. And, you know, you can't miss even a single one or the entire raid is dead. That's game over if you miss even a single one. And it's just very, very taxing, I think, on all of the players to get thrown out of the boss, instantly restabilize, okay? Like, be aware of their health, be aware of if they need to press anything, like the healers to start immediately healing everyone, and then get in all of those soaks. If even a single one misses, it's a wipe.
Yeah, definitely. Something that I kind of clocked, I think, is that we're kind of getting ejected out in these 4 quadrants, right? Mm-hmm. So are we positioning one healer per quadrant so that each quadrant has its own healer?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's one healer healing 4 other players. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. No, my brain is ticking over, but I'm thinking like, can we pop cooldowns? Like, I know that we used Resto Shaman in their tree form as we're transitioning from P1 from P2. I'm not sure if we're still doing that, but is it a case of like we can, or can there be more like healer ramp from the Disc Priest in that moment? Like, there needs to be. I say there needs to be, like, I know, but that obviously we need more healer output. We're struggling in that transition phase from 2 to 3. So yeah, it's a hard one. But I mean, that's what we have the big brain analysts for, right? We can speculate as much as possible, but at the end of the day, we can only see what the big brains do. Not Resto Shamans, Resto Druids. Yeah, Druids. I mean, it'd be pretty cool if Shamans could Resto.
Yeah. Resto Shah, Resto Druid, they got the same spec name. Come on, it's basically the same thing. Basically the same thing. But yeah, of course, yeah, you know, you're 100% correct to point out that is exactly what they're probably talking about now, right? It is going to be, right, okay, how are we going to tidy this up a little bit? How do we find that extra bit of survivability that we need to just stabilize quickly Because yeah, it is really, really not easy. We've been tripped up by that a couple of times now. I think we've really started to get some great consistency on that phase 1 and the intermission, and now phase 2 as well. This big obstacle is going to be surviving that that transition phase, like into phase 3, and then we can really start figuring out like where we're at, how much more damage we're going to need to actually finish off the boss, and well, and more.
For sure. Sorry, I'm reading Spirit's message. What do you mean you were gonna pop off if I said yes? What, like incoming tree form, newly released on the Race to World first? We get it first, apparently. No, Resto Shaman, Resto Druid. Yeah, I meant Druid, Resto Druid, but it is nice seeing Resto Druid up there. I have to say, I am favorable towards the Resto Druid. I do dabble in a little bit healing. When it comes to Resto Druid, so it is cool to see Royben rocking it, as well as Whippy as well. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually love Resto Druid because it feels to me like it's almost the spec of Druid that uses the most of Druid. Yeah. Right? Like, you know, you can use cat form to do damage, you're using bear form to mitigate damage, you're obviously using your non-form to heal, you turn into a tree as well, which is always fun. Like, so I think that you're really getting like the full Druid experience, you know, like when you play the Resto Druid, which I think is, you know, really, really fun.
Yeah, it's also one of the only specs of Druid that lets you stay in your regular form. Yeah, which is in addition to shape-shifting, so I think that's really nice. I think the RP there and the okay, right? Can we just ban this guy from the cast? Get this guy out of here. Like, I think I have to cast them next. Like, I'm gonna veto that. Like, bro just rolls up and says so much bang for your bark. That's unbelievable. Okay, that is absolutely unbelievable. You know he's smiling right now.
He's like, loving it too. He loves it. Yeah.
I love how we say Druid, by the way, and Sai's ears just start burning. It's like, hello, there, me, hello. Yeah, of course.
He's smiling. Feral. He's not getting taken to raid anyway. It's fine. Not a problem.
Oh. Benching the kitty. Unlucky. That's what you get, Sai. But yeah, no. So yeah, being able to stay in your regular form is really nice. I know that they're making changes to Evoker, so that you can stay in your regular form. You don't have to go dragon form, which is quite nice. Played Evoker a little bit in Dragonflight, and that was something that I kind of had a little bit of annoyance with. Transmogging a dragon, right? Forced to be in dragon form, and yet can only wear a certain amount of clothing, shoulders, and other like things. It was frustrating. From a transmog perspective, it was frustrating.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. And to be honest, I have no idea what Blizzard was thinking, right? Because look, as we all know, this is a very serious raiding game. Please, okay. But let's be honest here. Like, World of Warcraft is a dress-up simulator with raids attached to it, and I mean that unironically as well. Absolutely, yeah. This is an RPG. Like, you know, you express yourself through your character. I have no idea what they were thinking. Like making it so that you can only have, like, what is it? Like only your shoulders show up or something? Like on Dracula or whatever. It's like, huh? That's actually unhinged behavior from Blizzard there to make it go that way. So yeah, I'm very much glad that they've actually they said, okay, fine, we give up. Okay, you can just, you can just be whatever you are normally, like the entire time, I guess, like your visage form, I guess.
Visage form,
yeah. Very exciting.
They put so much effort into creating that visage form as well. They gave us so much customization. It was our introduction to seeing what they could do with hairstyles. God, I remember when they brought out when they brought out Drakthir, right? And they showed us the customization that was available in the correct character. Like, we had ombre effects, we had blue hair going into pink hair, we had gray hair with white tips, we had blue, like spiky hair. Like, there was so much customization for the visage form, and then you spend 99.9% of the time in dragon form.
Yeah, oof.
It's like, what? There has to be some sort of like meeting there, right? Or like people who work, developers that worked on the visage form, they're kind of like, Why did you make us pump hours and hours of work into this when the players don't even get to see it? So I've dubbed Blizzard for that change. Thank you for listening to us. They do actually do a really good job of taking community feedback now. I think that is something I have to praise them for. Is over the last 5 years, there seems to have been a shift within the World of Warcraft development team. They are listening more to creators, but they're also listening more to community members. And we have the Community Council, the ambassadors team, that represent communities within World of Warcraft that now have influence to make change, positive change. And it's not coming from a content creator, because I feel like our opinions can be a little bit jaded, can be a little bit biased maybe, because we are making content and it is our point to entertain. So it can be a little bit biased, but when it comes to community players, like they are they are living and breathing game. So being able to kind of like pass the mic over to them and create that communication between the devs and the community members, the players, it's such a good thing. I'm happy to say that the devs have gone in a really good direction. We've had some brilliant quality of life features over the last few expansions. Yeah, and it's good to see. It's good to see.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I think on the customization point, I think we see that feedback being taken and directly applied to the new race that came out with Midnight. Like the Harrenhal customizations are crazy, right? They're really cool. Like I've seen like loads of images of the variety of characters that you can make with the customizations. It's absolutely remarkable, right? And then you've got all like the earthen enjoyers kind of like going, oh, wish we had that. Okay, like without like how I think somewhat limited some of the kind of allied race customization would be compared to the Harrenhal. Yeah, they really knocked it out of the park with that one. I think that was a very, very good job there. But yeah, it's always good to see like the feedback being taken. I think there's been a lot of feedback implemented in Midnight when it comes to the gearing systems. I think difficulty as well. Like I think the M+ season being more chill, I think is going to increase the uptake of people who are going to give it a try, right? Because I think the completion rate is like 92% right now or something like that, as opposed to I think being more like 75% in the War Within. So it's like a lot more of a chill season. That's good. I think they've taken feedback on gearing. Like Myth gear is going to be quite a bit more accessible outside of Mythic Raid now when those kind of bonus roll systems come in. So you can roll for extra loot after you complete a key, or if you want that one trinket from that raid boss, it just won't drop. Yeah. You can have a little bonus roll there as well. So yeah, I think it's interesting because I actually feel quite bad. I feel bad for the multi-billion-dollar company because I feel like Midnight's launch has actually been it's been overshadowed by the add-on change. There's a lot of controversy regarding the add-on change. But and this is, I guess my perspective is maybe a little bit interesting here because I'm actually a relatively new retail guy. I only started playing in Dragonflight. Oh, okay. I've got to say, Midnight for me, in terms of expansion launch, just as a relatively newer player to the game, this expansion is insane. I think it is significantly better than Dragonflight or the War Within.
110%. Yeah.
And I don't see that opinion talked about a lot. And look, for good reason, right? Like, if you've been there, done that, you've been playing this game for like 10 years. I get it, right? You're not gonna get as wow, right? By these new expansions. But I've got to say, like, it's really, really good. It's been bumpy, I admit that. But look, that's expansion launches, right? That's just the way it goes. Yeah, I've been really impressed with Midnight so far.
It feels good to play, I think. Like the War Within, it was good, but I think that the War Within really fragmented you in terms of playstyle and in terms of like your experience with the world as well. We went to Khazalgar and we went to the Isle of Dawn and we explored the Isle of Dawn, and then we went into the depths of Khazalgar and we went inside, and then when we went inside there was 3 other zones. And yes, the idea of that and the sound of that sounds great, but realistically you've got 3 different zones that are semi-hard to access. They are below inside a world, and then the main world is above you, and the only place you really go is the main city, the main hub, and you don't really explore it outside of that. Where I feel like they've done really well with Midnight is that they've gone back to a place that's really familiar. Whether you've played Classic, whether you're an OG like retail player, or whether you're new to the game, you've probably seen Eversong Forest before, and you probably have met a Blood Elf. We've gone back to the home of the Blood Elves. We're revisiting the Sunwow. And it's these like really notable moments and locations that have been brought back to the forefront, and that I think that's brilliant. And you've got Eversong Forest, which is beautiful, lush, tranquil, amazing, and they've not destroyed it. They've not made it hostile, because this is something that Blizzard, for some reason, have done historically. Let's take Borealis as a really good example, the Alliance hub for Battle for Azeroth, a brilliant harbour, a great city, but tell me why only 20% of it is accessible and the other 80% is just infected with all these hostile mobs. It had so much potential to be full of life and buzzing with like a city feel. Very similar to how I felt when I played Guild Wars 2 for the first time, by the way, and I walked into the city for the first time. It felt so welcoming and so open and so breezy, whereas Borealis was just locked down by these hostile mobs. And I'm so glad that they've not done that direction with the new city hub in Midnight, because I want to be able to explore it. And they've made it feel alive with all these NPCs having their own kind of like agency. They walk around, it feels alive, you know, it feels good. And yeah, they've made changes with Mythic Plus. Mythic Plus is easier, which arguably I feel like is a really good thing. And also the raid being fragmented to suit the story. I'm just really glad with the direction that they're going, honestly. I feel like it's really, really good, and I love that they're listening to player feedback. Maybe some of you guys in chat are the ones that have fed your